Just talking about the Commanders.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast live. Yes. Got the whole team in the house Sunday morning. Had some amazing NFL action yesterday, but for the most part, the entirety of the main topics of this show today are going to be NBA. We're going to talk about some NBA. I know you all been feeding for that, but we will briefly discuss the NFL in our quick hits. But before we get to that, Transformer G, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Doing blessed, highly favored.
There it is.
That's it. Always.
Is it there? It is. That's better than what I was gonna say.
Pull the trump card. I love it.
Y'all enjoying the playoffs so far?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, man. Enjoying it, man. Wish my pack was in there, but you know it is what it is.
Come on, man.
You know, youngest team in the league. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll get there.
Okay. Pretty girl B2B, you are new. What's going on? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Go Lakers. Okay.
Take a wild guess on who that might be.
I don't know who that might be, but you can click that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you.
She probably already is.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
That's
your favorite little one, man.
Oh, that's what's up. Mariah. What's going on, young lady? I'm going to give you love for that Go Lakers because of who your pops is. So that's what's up. All right. Let's go ahead and before we even get started, you all know what time it is. Let's go ahead and we'll hit the spiel and then we'll get into these topic quick hits. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us, and write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right. So y'all know what it is, man. I already said it, man. You know what time it is. But even with that, let's go ahead and let's get right to these quick hits, man. So first thing, man.
Wait.
Pardon me. Okay. Transform. Hey, my bad.
The first quick hit.
Yes.
Is about to be a huge shout out to Bruce, the host of the Format Podcast. The other day, he dropped a lovely, beautiful, just overwhelming, wholehearted, just factual piece of information and love and affirmation, dedication, just pure joy on the podcast the other day. If you guys go back 2 days ago, he posted to live and die in LA. And boy, if you're a Laker fan, Kobe fan, Bron fan, Magic fan, Kareem fan, whatever, you go and watch and listen to that man just speak like he's a preacher on a podium, giving a beautiful sermon on an early Sunday morning. You can hear the organ in the background, just dun, dun. You can hear the choir in the background. Oh, you can hear the electricity, the fire, just the emotion come through the mic and into our wonderful ears. He gave us two. Lord Jesus, he gave us two. He gave us two to listen to that podcast. So guys, go back and listen to that podcast, guys. A tribute from a Celtics fan to the LA Lakers. It was a thing of beauty, guys. I want to give Bruce Hope his wonderful praise. It was beautiful, man. I got no words to express how proud I was of Bruce, man. As a Celtic, as a green Celtic, the lucky charm to speak on the purple and gold in such a fashion that brought tears of joy to my eyes, man. So, man, congratulations, Bruce, man. I'm proud of you. That took guts. It took grit. It took guts. It took grit. And guys, he was there. It wasn't like he melted. He wasn't like the Wicked Witch of the West where he was melting, talking about purple and gold. He stood there in the fight and he kept jabbing at it, man. So that's all I want to say. We can go ahead and get to the quick hits, man. I'm proud of you, Bruce, man. Let's go.
All right, so for those of y'all who don't know, let me just give a little bit of background on that. Obviously, if you watch this show, unless you're new, you know I'm a diehard Celtics fan, been one since third grade. But the point out was here, I wanted to do, as you know, that part of when you guys become members of the channel, you get special members-only content, right? And right now, we only have a couple members. So even before I get to that, shout out It's Not That Serious, and shout out our very first member, Laker Nation. What up, Laker Nation? Shout out to you. And so I wanted to do something special for our first two members, and especially my very first member, Laker Nation, who's always here, always showing us love. And, you know, I wanted to do something special in terms of members-only content. So I thought about it, and I said, what could really be a show that I could do, like really from the heart, and kind of show a little more of me, I guess, on the emotional side of sports, because with my journalist hat, I really try to stay away from the emotional piece. Now, listen, if Notre Dame win the championship tomorrow night,
oh boy,
piece going to come back out. But in all seriousness, I wanted to do something just kind of from the heart and show love to Laker Nation, and It's Not That Serious. And I just wanted to make that members only content special for them. And so I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do what needs to be done, what doesn't get done often enough in terms of basketball fans in our particular rivalry. And I will go as far as to say the rivalry that built the NBA, that built the NBA, and then brought the NBA back from the brink and, you know, really made it what it is today. And of course, that's the Lakers and the Celtics. And so I said, this doesn't even have to be about the Celtics. I'm going to go about this a different way. And so I decided I am going to do a tribute to the Los Angeles Lakers from the vantage point of a Celtics fan. And why that was important to me is it wasn't even just, you know, trying to do something for Laker Nation, although, you know, that was the biggest point at the beginning. Why it was important to me was on the front of, as much as I love my Celtics aren't my Celtics. Laker Nation, what up, what up? Just talking about you, bro. My Celtics aren't my Celtics without the Lakers. And the Lakers aren't the Lakers without the Celtics. And so, yeah, I wanted to pay homage to the greatness of that franchise. And I wanted to pay homage to the greatness of all of the just incredible all-timers who walked through those doors in the Forum, and then, and you know, now in the, what is that, the Staples Center, the Link, whatever. I don't know what the name of the damn thing is.
Yeah, it's forever the Staples Center. We call it the Staples Center, the Crypt.
Okay, so it's crypto. Yeah, perfect time in Laker Nation. But yeah, I wanted to pay homage to that, because as much as I, you know, give the Lakers crap and give my boys crap for being Lakers fans, and my big brother, shout out Mark, it was really important to me because, as I said, the Lakers and the Celtics are two sides of the same coin. They're yin and yang, and they are the ones that make each other as great as they are. And so I wanted to do that, and I think it came out all right. And honestly, I ain't even going front here. When I was watching the Magic highlights and making the video, like, I really had to control myself, because part of it is I used to love basketball, especially the NBA, so much, right? Now, y'all know I do a lot of football content. I love football. I love college football. I love Notre Dame, so on and so forth, right? I love the Ravens. But growing up, basketball was my number one love, and the Lakers and the Celtics are why. You know what I'm saying? And even as a diehard Celtics fan, Magic Johnson is my number 2 player all time. My number 3 player all time is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. My number 8 player all time is Kobe. My number 6 player all time is Wilt, right? So, you know, you got 4 in the top 10. However, I'm sure some of you disagree with that list, and that's okay, but that's not the point here. The point is, I wanted to pay homage and show how grateful I am to that organization for what they have done for the game that I love so much. So that's the background of why I ended up doing that show. And, you know, I did that for basketball. I did that for me, and I did it for my guys, man. So that's the background on that.
LA, we did it for you.
No, it doesn't work. Well, how the song go? I love LA. We love it. I think that was it. All right, that's the last time y'all gonna hear me talk like that. No, but honestly, I enjoyed doing it, man. I enjoyed doing it because it needed to be done, and that homage needed to be paid. So
yes, sir. We appreciate it. We loved it. I loved it.
no
I'm
doubt.
pretty
No
sure
doubt.
any Laker fan, whoever watches it, will love it.
I hope
Kobe
so.
up in
I hope
the
so.
heavens, like,
I
why
hope
you
so.
make that? Why you make that boy say that? Why you make that boy? You make that boy say that. Go for you,
Except Kobe is such a psycho competitor. He was like, "Oh, you just had to mention 08, didn't you, Bruce? Okay, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you."
When you get up here, 1-on-1,
Right,
straight on the
right.
court. Let's go.
I'm not doing it, Kobe. I'm not. You ain't gonna have me looking dumb in front of all these, millions of years of humanity. I'm good. But yeah, so that's the background behind that, man. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was definitely enjoyable. All right, so let's go ahead and get to these quick hits, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
First quick hit. I want to start with G here. Man, first quick hit. Are the Commanders Super Bowl bound? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Before I do that, I got to give a shout out to my god sister Tracy in Maryland. God sis, I love you, and I'm always on you about your Commanders, but I got to show love right now because they are legit.
Yeah.
And man, they look good. I picked against them here in this game. I did not expect this.
did.
They went up there, absolutely handled business. And I feel like the way they are playing and the ability they have and that young quarterback they got, they can get to the Super Bowl, man. If they don't make mistakes, that's a good football team. G, go ahead, man.
But they would have to get past either Philly or LA. And that's tough. That's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
But so far, man, like, just look at a kid and be like, man, wow, he got the stuff. And there's not a lot of tape on him. There's not a lot of tape. It's hard to stop him. 4th and 2, cut third and short. He just execute every time, man.
3 for 4 on fourth downs.
Yeah.
Technically 4 for 5 because they called him. They got the penalty on one of them where they were about to go for it.
No doubt, Tracy. No doubt. Good to see you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, by the way.
Man, that was a crazy game last night. I didn't think that Detroit would get boots the ass like that. I thought it would be something a little bit more
not at all
competitive, but they ain't jerk off. I don't know, man. Jerk off. I know what the question is the Commanders Super Bowl bound, but the real question here is if you're a Detroit fan and you had. I seen so many commercials, bro. Like they was ready. They thought they was gonna steamroll those guys.
You know what? That's kind of like when they made the Kobe and LeBron NBA Finals commercials, right? They got ahead of themselves.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. They got ahead of themselves. Both sides. I mean, I think the guy broke his arm like the first play of the game.
Yeah, that was nasty.
It was a hard hitting. I didn't even know they hit that hard in the NFC.
NFC player. Right.
Hit that hard in the NFC, but I mean, really good game, man. Shorty executed. Extended plays with his legs. Able to make those tough throws. And
man.
It just looked like they just was aggressive. Foot on the pedal, nonstop.
He never gets nervous. And they ran for $182. That's a balanced offense that can score. So
no
Jim
turnovers.
Rome. Nope. There you go. Jim Rome said that he believes Jaden Daniels is the best rookie quarterback he's ever seen.
Come on, man. That was my take.
Argument, though. I'm sorry.
That was my take.
Transformer, go ahead, man.
That was my take.
Go ahead, brother.
My question to y'all was going to be,
Yes,
are
sir.
we witnessing the greatest rookie quarterback of all time?
We may be. We may be
witnessing the greatest rookie quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
I've never seen a run like this to be as poised, unrattled, no nerves. The man got hit in the helmet, right? Took the helmet off, looked at it, and was like, "Nah,
let's go."
Put it right back on.
Yeah.
What? Nothing rattles this kid.
No,
this
nothing.
kid is just out there like he just loves this sport. Like, bro, this is another day in the yard for me. Right?
You know what really, I'm sorry to interrupt you, what really impresses me about him is the way that he makes those deep throws so accurately. Like he dropped it in the bucket, man. Like It's him, Lamar, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, the 4 best deep throwers in the game. Like, them dudes, like, he throw it 60 yards, and I'm like, how did he? And he just right in there. I'm like, good God, the kid is special, man. I hate to say it because I've never been a Commanders fan, but the kid is special.
Remember the argument was, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Remember the argument early on was if these young quarterbacks are developed enough to play in the league. I know he wish he can get that one back.
I think there's always going to be one, though, right? He played 5 years in college, though.
Yeah, he was the oldest quarterback out of the draft.
Yeah, I'm not saying that to take a shot. I'm just saying when you have that many collegiate starts, and then you play in all type of arenas and big games against different types of teams. But at the end of the day, let's put all that to the side, man. I know, you talked about him and the Commanders early on. I know Bruce talked about the Commanders early on. I mean, really, anything is possible with this team at this point. Anything is possible.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make me mute your mic, bro.
No, but in all seriousness, man, I believe that they can beat. We saw them beat Philly. We saw them beat Philly at the end of the year, and the Rams, as good as they are, Washington is in a really good position, being one game out. They can go to the Super Bowl. So that brings up another interesting point. And I talked to my god sis about this. We were texting about it last night. Imagine a Baltimore-Washington Super Bowl, how crazy that would be.
Ooh-wee.
That would be, now, of course, Baltimore got some things to do. Right, no doubt. Baltimore got some things to do first, and undoubtedly has a tougher path. But if that happened, I couldn't even. I wonder how the rest of the country, ratings-wise, would react to that. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be like Lamar versus Lamar.
Lamar and Lamar Light.
Lamar Light. Like, ooh. Yeah.
Well, no,
he got there much quicker than Lamar.
He sure did. I just mean geographically, though, like how the rest of the because remember, like in college, when the SEC was dominating year after year, the ratings weren't as good in terms of the college football playoff versus now you're seeing a wider spread fan base and like more national interest. But yeah, go ahead.
Who you saying going ahead to?
Yes, sir.
Oh, either one of y'all. Go ahead.
But no. What I was gonna say earlier, I was talking to my guy Gary Miller, man. Shout out Chief Miller out there. I was telling him his touch is like a vet in the game already. His touch, right? It's the way. It's not how you throw it. It's the touch. Like you gotta have that touch for like anything past 20 yards, anything 25 yards deep. It's right in the bucket. It's not overthrown. It's not underthrown. It's not too fast. It's not too hard. Pause. It's right there on the money. And I saw it time after time after time again over the course of the season, but most importantly in the biggest moment to get to the NFC Championship game. And it was like any play on fourth down, he knew what it was. He's like, I got 3 options here. I'm going to hand it off. I can run it, or I'm going to hit Zach Ertz right here across the middle. It was the same thing over and over, and Detroit just had no answer for it. And the calmness that he had when he walks up to the line and he's checking that middle linebacker, he's checking where that second safety is. He's calling it, and it's right on the money every single time, man. So to be in that position so early, it's almost like it's Pat Mahomes-esque. You're setting the bar so high, so early.
That's true.
The expectation is going to be here from here on out. Anything below that, it's like, you underperform. All right, because we look at Pat like that. Pat came in and he got to the AFC Championship so fast that everything else that he did, like comparing to now, he's 15-1 this season. We're like, this is a horrible year for Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Like what?
but look, he's right back in the AFC title game again.
He's right back for 7 straight years. He's right back into the AFC Championship.
That's something we'll discuss on Wednesday. By the way, y'all, Wednesday we're gonna have a full segment dedicated to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders and what they're doing. We're gonna have a full segment dedicated to that.
We came to the podium last night, guys, and it was just like, this kid needs his own segment.
He needs his own segment.
It's so much we could talk about this kid, man. It's not only is he shocking, he shocked us, he's shocking the world. Like this is crazy, man.
Yeah, he's special. Crazy. Special. But this was just a quick hit.
So let's move on.
Wait, do you have something else, G, before we move on?
Yeah, no, I just want to talk about the offensive coordinator and how well he was dialing plays as well.
Cliff Kingsbury,
I don't know how long he's going to be there. They'll probably snatch him up really soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
The kid's on fire. Yep.
I mean, he was recently a head coach and did not do well, and he had a talented quarterback there, but maybe sometimes guys need that second time around. It
was personnel too. That offensive line he got is crazy, man. They dogs. So he got all the pieces to be successful. I think the Commanders going to do really, really well. I don't know which one they would rather play, the Eagles or the Rams, though, because
true.
I don't know if it matters. I think they'd probably rather play the Eagles because they know the Eagles so well. Being in division, this will be the third time this year they're playing them. They know them extremely well, so they would rather play them. I think. I would think
they got a lot of momentum, so it honestly wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah. I think they can beat either one. Salam Sneed, good morning, my brother. How are you?
And lastly, they've been playing the same way every week.
Yeah, like it's not a lot of up and down with them. They're very consistent.
Every week.
Great point, G.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Oh, one more thing. I was talking to my guys about this morning. Isn't it interesting how wherever Magic goes, championships eventually follow?
That was going to be my pick for next week. But yes,
the Dodgers.
I saw his tweet last night. Yeah,
the Sparks. I think he got a women's soccer team that he owns.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everywhere this guy goes,
he has a hockey championship.
Does he have that too?
I think he has a hockey championship.
Okay, but it's crazy. Like Magic is just obviously the Lakers. Like that dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. He made some type of deal with the Almighty. He's still alive, and he's winning. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we did give you your flowers, man. You came in late, Bruce. We gave you your flowers, man. You got to be here earlier. Nah, we gave you your flowers, man. But
he got esports. He got esports championships.
Yo, everything he gets into, it's crazy. It's crazy. That dude said, "I don't put my name on losers."
The MLS World Cup.
Sneed, you foul.
Jesus, boy.
Oh my goodness.
He said Magic and Leo like me. We are great leaders. There you go.
Okay.
My daughter's picture was kind of in the way.
Right. All right, but let's go ahead and as I said, we'll have a full segment dedicated to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders coming up Wednesday after the championship game pick'em. So we'll definitely do that. Oh, that's 2 segments, easy. But yeah. So let's move on to the second quick hit. And G, you're gonna start off with this, man. Ravens-Bills quarterback matchup. Go.
Ravens-Bills. Josh Allen. You should say Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson matchup because that's pretty much.
I just said quarterback matchup. I just said that. You didn't. You weren't listening.
Yep. That was mentioned.
That was
proceed, bro. Proceed.
Okay. All right. And then also there's the running back matchup, right? Because of the weather, whoever runs the ball the best will probably, that team will probably come out. Yep. It'll probably be windy. Let me go check the quick stats real fast to see what the weather's going to be like.
19 degrees. 19 degrees.
19 degrees. So that's probably going to feel like 8. And it's supposed to snow if I'm not mistaken. So
if Todd Monken blows this,
crazy work. I think they already know what the game plan is going to be.
I would think so.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, there's no way. Last year was his first year, and there's no way.
No snow.
But remember, that's not his first year as a coordinator, right? He's a 2-time coordinator in college as a champion, and he was a coordinator with the Bucks previously. So he's been an NFL coordinator before. This is not difficult.
I don't think he knew he had a nuclear weapon in the backfield. 2 of them, I should say. That. And it took some time to gel. The thing I like about the Ravens, and I'm going to keep this brief because it's a quick hit. I'm going to leave it to 3 minutes. So transform, you ain't got to worry about timing me. Because,
dang, I already
we still got to get it done. We still got to get it done. But what I will say is when it comes to game planning and preparation, I've never seen Lamar so more locked in than I have recently. And Derrick Henry and Roquan. So all the captains are like, they know what this is about, man. The other side is you don't really hear a whole lot of Josh Allen talk. He's quiet. And I think it's going to be one of the most high I ain't gonna say high performing, but like most viewed game that we've had in a long time, man. I think everybody is waiting for this matchup. I'm not gonna talk about what happens to the team, who loses, and what happens to their career. I'm just gonna say this is gonna be a hell of a matchup. Lamar versus Lamar Light. That's what someone said.
Right.
Right. But two really, really great tier 1, top 5 quarterbacks that's playing in the league right now, going at it on an 8 o'clock game in Buffalo, man. It's gonna be cold as hell. I started to go there, changed my mind. I was like,
I think it's a 6:30.
Be able to do it.
6:30.
I think it's 6:30.
Yeah, 6:30.
They must have pushed it up.
6:30.
Yeah, it's the first one's at 3, next one's at 6:30.
Okay, all right. Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah, 6:30. Yeah, you'd have missed the whole first half.
No, so they must have changed it. They had to change it because it was at 8 o'clock at first, but I guess because tomorrow was Monday, they changed it. But no, it's just gonna be a really good game, man. And the truth of the matter is only one team can prevail tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I definitely look forward to just watching the game, man. I get no sleep last night.
Yeah.
What's up? Man, hold on. I gotta give you a view from the Ravens fans, man. Like, I follow a lot of social media accounts and all this stuff. Right, I do my data mining really, really, really well. There's fans praying. There's all kinds of just people worshiping stuff. Like Ravens fans are really psychopaths, man. Like I don't know. They are really, really crazy, man. Like they crazy. I saw the view from when we won the Super Bowl in 2012, and all the people was like scaling the stadium and like going inside. Like it was like the stadium was closed, but it was open for Baltimore. Like, right. Like, you would think a game was going on, bro. So many people in there, man. So just looking back at all the memes and stuff, man, it's either gonna be a good game for the Ravens or a bad game for the Ravens. But I like the mindset of Lamar Jackson and the rest of the team. They kind of following suit. But what I get from the Buffalo memes, I can't even discuss on this podcast, man. But I send you guys some stuff. It's wild, man.
I'm sure.
Wow.
I saw one of them. I was like, what?
Wow,
there we go.
Man.
Yeah, Bruce sent me a crazy one. Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. So,
Bruce, we talked about Jaden's college experience. Yeah, man, you came in late, man, but we got you though. We got you. Transformer, your thoughts on this quarterback matchup, man?
Boy, I agree with G. It's truly going to be a running back matchup. Whoever can run the ball the best is going to win the game, right? You got to control the tempo. You got to control the pace. Bills got to get out there early. If they get the ball, they got to get out there early, right? You have to make Lamar play from behind. Pause. All right. So in doing so, you're trying to keep the ball away from Derrick Henry as much as possible. And if you can get up early, you can dictate that tempo by running the ball and keeping the offense for the Ravens off the field. Let them get cold and let them get frozen on the sideline. So you have to control the clock. So whoever's controlling that clock, whoever's going to run the ball the best is going to win this football game, because you want to keep that defense. I mean, that other offense on the sideline in that cold, and let that chill hit their bones. So I think it's going to be a great game. It might not be as a shootout as we had with the Commanders last night. In a wonderful game. If you like high scoring, no defense, that's your type of game. But I expect a little bit more defense in this football game from both teams. A lot is at stake here, because literally the MVP is on the line. So I think, whoever controls that ball, run on the ground, they're definitely going to have the better chance of winning this football game.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that seems to be,
the forte,
the basis of, playoff football, right? Run the ball, stop the run. It's the same thing I say all the time. But what I'm thinking about just on the QB side, one, if you're the opposing defense, either one of these guys, you got to keep them from putting the cape on, right? Because as we know, either one of these guys can jump in the phone booth and put the cape on, and we don't. If you're the Buffalo Bills, you don't want that, right?
Yeah.
If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you don't want that, right? Because we've seen both of these guys are capable of doing freaking miraculous things. And real talk, I think the other thing is, and this is very interesting, even though the MVP votes are supposed to be in already, how do we know that this game is not going to affect people's MVP votes, right?
It
How do
is.
we know that they
Vegas
fronting
is
on that?
Vegas.
And right, that's why they're like, yo, we're not going to even announce these award winners till February, which is freaking stupid. I think personally, they should have announced it before the playoffs start, because I always harken back to in the NBA back when Dream played D-Rob and he was upset because David Robinson won MVP, because remember he was MVP the year before, and he destroyed him. He took it out on him during that whole series, right? And so wouldn't you love to see they announce the awards in the NFL and guys use that as another piece of fuel to, step their games up? Like imagine, let's just say hypothetically, imagine Lamar wins that third straight MVP and Josh Allen's like, what? Okay, let me show why I should have got it, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should have announced it earlier. I don't know what. Well, I guess they're waiting to do it like a show like the NBA does, but to hell with that. No. Announce that joint and give these dudes extra fire going into these playoff games. That's what I think, because I think that would make, for even more compelling sports drama. But that's me.
No, I agree with you. Definitely get out the way we don't know. It's kind of like y'all waiting to see who's going to do what in the playoffs. And now, okay, that's MVP. Got it. Because like it could be close. They could be looking at it like, ooh, man, these votes are very, very, very close. What's going to call it? That matchup, that final matchup, right?
That's right. Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. All right, but that's it for the quick hits. Damn, I hear that. It seems like it's getting louder.
You do too?
Like,
okay.
I think it's the TV.
Boy, I've been over here like paired. I'm like, yo, am I just starting to hear stuff now?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and you wanna start off on that first topic, give your thoughts on it, like where it came from, and then we'll start clicking into some of the clips.
Oh, the Scottie and MJ?
Yeah.
Oh man, so Scottie is on the hot seat again. He's on the soapbox again. He had some fun things, and I'm gonna say fun things because there was a lot of things, but he had some fun things to mention about our say GOAT of basketball. All right. I believe, Bruce, we got a couple of clips that we're going to let the audience hear. We're going to chime in on these things. So this is going to be more of a live reaction, not a live reaction, but a more intertwined reaction. We're going to play a couple of clips here, and we're going to come in and give our opinions on, not going to say blasphemy, not going to say idiocracy,
on some crazy stuff,
but some crazy stuff that Scottie Pippen had to say about the GOAT debate and about a lot of things about Michael Jordan. So, Bruce, I'm gonna let you take it away. We got the first clip here.
No doubt. So, real quick, what I thought was interesting is that, and you can find this on the Valuetainment YouTube channel. Scottie Pippen recently sat down, did like a more than 2-hour interview with Patrick Bet-David. He does a lot of good interviews with a lot of different people, and it's really difficult in my estimation to get a kind of bead on his stances on a lot of things. He's in different places with different people, but he interviewed Scottie Pippen, and it touched on a number of things, and I was like, wow, okay, this is interesting. So definitely I clipped up some parts here, and we're going to talk about it. So first thing I want to talk about is we'll listen to clips on Scottie Pippen and MJ and their relationship. Right now, mind you, real quick, we always thought Scottie Pippen and MJ were good, right? Especially, obviously, they won 6 championships together. We know that MJ was pivotal in making Scottie Pippen the player he became. Scottie Pippen was pivotal in making MJ the champion that he became. Yep. So the two of them worked really well together. But I think it's clear that we all know who the alpha dog in that relationship and on that team was, right? To the point that even when Scottie Pippen was the man on the Bulls while Jordan was out playing baseball, we know the clip of Scottie on the bench wearing Jordan sneakers, I think the 12s, lifting his shoe up, showing Michael Jordan and basically telling him like, hey, come back, right? So it's interesting now that after or following The Last Dance, Scottie Pippen, his
stance, opinion.
Yeah, his stance and the way he talks about Michael Jordan has changed dramatically. Well, okay, so Sneed, before we even do that, let me respond to Sneed. So here's the deal, right? Sneed, it's not so much about having a differing opinion and perspective. It's some of the stuff that he says is really wild, and it's not smart from a basketball perspective, especially someone who's a top 50 guy who's been there, done that. And also the other thing is, if you listen to interviews over the last 4 to 5 years across different platforms, Scottie is all over the place in the responses.
Contradicts himself.
Right. So maybe some people would think there's some mental health issues going on, which would be crazy, or that it's idiotic. But we'll listen to some different things he has to say, and we'll tap in and out and give our thoughts on it. All right, let's go.
When's the last time you and Michael spoke?
Right around the pandemic.
Oh, so it's been a minute since you.
Yeah.
Is that the text exchange when he shot you a text May of 2020 and he said, "Hey, Scottie, I heard you're upset. Let me know when you have a minute to speak." Is that the last time you guys spoke?
Something like that.
Something like that. And did you actually call him? Like, did you guys talk or did you just text him?
No, I think we ended up speaking briefly.
Did it end up being good, the conversation?
Yeah, I guess. Good and final.
That's what it was. Good and final. Because of you or because of him?
Yeah. I don't want to pick because of who. It's just
Got it.
Good and final.
That's wild. And would you say a big part of it is The Last Dance and how that was portrayed? Would you say that was it? Would you say, because I sit there and I watch, for me, Kobe. I had Kobe at one of our events, the late Kobe. I love Kobe. Kobe and I are 6 weeks apart, our birthdays, and
wow,
I watched him play. We had a relationship at the tail end of his, not even career, his life. And it was a great moment. And he said some stuff about Shaq, and then Shaq and I had a conversation together years later, and it was great. And my son, till today, he's met a lot of different people. His favorite athlete he likes to talk about is Shaq. Shaq is his Dylan. Loves Shaq.
Yeah.
So, and then when you saw that one interview with Shaq and Kobe, they're sitting across from each other, like the conversation that took place. And then you saw one with Magic and Isaiah. I don't know if you remember those interviews that they did like 10 years ago, something like that, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It was great to see Shaq and Kobe together. It was great to see
awesome.
Isaiah and Magic together, where Isaiah got emotional and he got up and they hugged each other, and that whole thing with the two of them. Why is the tension so high with anything related to Michael? You and Michael, Barkley and Michael.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just think that Michael is a very difficult person to deal with. I played with him for years, so I know that, when it's time for you to move in your direction, then go in your direction. Don't sit there and try to procrastinate or stretch it. That the relationship is not where it was or not what it used to be, and it's never going to be the same. So why try and make something out of nothing, or try to make something that was never there?
All right, so let's stop there, because there's already a lot to unpack. But it's interesting that he now says something that was never there, and that's not something that he never. That's not a feeling that you ever got from him previously. That's not a feeling that he ever espoused publicly or at all. So let me get your thoughts, guys, on some of what he had to say there.
In a sense, said a whole lot of nothing. For this part, you could tell it's something that he wants to say.
Yeah,
but it's if you was like, we're not looking at him, right? And it's like, what's understood don't have to be explained, right? It's like one of them type of conversations that he's trying to have, like, like, yeah, like, this is the reason why you asked a question, but I'm not going to allude to which one, but yeah, it's like that. We from the perspective, I mean, like, you get the psychology, and I'm not a psychiatrist, guys. Like, that's personal trainer, real estate agent, military veteran. That's it.
Right.
But when you hear those type of conversations, you hear somebody like try to allude to like a broad answer when there's a clear left or right, like it's left or right, which one? It's A or B, yes or no, and you go directly in the middle. There's tension. There's tension as is something that he wants to say. It's just that, like, right there, he's just not going to say it, man. That's what I got from this part so far.
G.
Well, fellas, it's not even that hard. It's not even that difficult to kind of like understand what's going on. His son is having sexual relations with his ex-wife, and he definitely
Not
want
anymore.
to get her back.
I forgot about that
And
part.
so that there's no way that they can be friends because he's the butt of every joke in every room that he goes in. And
Every room.
So I mean, we know how things was in the 90s when it comes to just that fraternity of the 90s basketball and how close knit it was. It is. And everybody tells stories about how Michael is and how, he's a heavy gambler, extremely so hey bro, hold on. How you gonna be piping his son will be piping his ex-wife and they ask them are they friends, bro?
But you can't control what his son does, nor can he control what his ex-wife is doing. So you hold that against Mike, though.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, hey, listen, if somebody says something bad about me, right, and I didn't take the first swing, then every time I see him, you know what I'm saying, it's on sight, bro. Like that's just how it is. And so yeah, he's never gonna like him. That's why they like, oh yeah, we'll talk. Real nonchalant. Besides the fact that he's probably high as a kite when he did this interview. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot to this.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot to it. He do flip flop, and one day, that's when he does flip flop a lot.
Yeah.
And but when it comes down to it, man, like it's just just overall, it's just his son, his oldest son, is having sexual relations with his ex-wife, and I don't think it was. Well, from my understanding, a lot of people was doing that, and so yeah.
What, doing his wife?
Yeah.
So
matter of fact, we had the Laker. It was I forget what Laker it was. He was on our team when Scottie Pippen Jr. was on the team, and at the time, Buddy was still dating his mom. So they was like, we got to move Scottie, bro. We got to move Scottie out of here.
Right. So yeah, you can't. But no, I think a lot of this has to do with plain and simple with just jealousy in terms of Mike. Honestly, I really do, because he never used to talk like this, right? And then The Last Dance comes out and he gets butt hurt, and then all of a sudden everything switches up, and he on one interview LeBron, and then the next one, Michael Jordan, and then I read one recently, he said Magic, and I'm like, come on, what are we doing here? And then he says he's the greatest player. Like, this is why I say, like, he might be crazy. You know what I'm saying? The dude is all over the place and has no idea what the hell's going on. Secondly, and we'll get back to it in a second, if you're Scottie Pippen, you know that every interview you go on, all these questions are going to come up based on stuff you wrote in your book, stuff you've said publicly. You know these are going to come up. So how you go on the interview, these questions come up, and you don't want to answer these questions. Come on, man. Like, you know what time it is. You know why you're there. Nobody really cares about Scottie Pippen and what he's doing, right? We want to know what's the deal with you and Mike. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
So, great teammate, but we just never were great friends.
Never, even when you guys played.
No.
So when you guys played together, how often was it for you guys to have dinner together?
I mean, we may have like a pregame meal or something like that, but it's always a big party of people.
How many times did just you and Michael have dinner in Chicago? Chicago has a lot of great. Scottie, stop it. Scottie, stop it.
At that point where he's saying, Scottie, stop it. If you watch the video, Scottie is doing this. He's making a zero gesture with his hands to respond that he's never had dinner with Michael Jordan one-on-one.
Never.
You and Michael never had dinner together one-on-one?
No, never.
Michael's house just sold, the one in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? I think it sold for like $9.6 million or some number like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, could be his agent.
We were interested, but possibly doing something with that because the history in it. How often did you guys hang out in that house, go shooting, basketball, talking, mentally getting ready for the playoffs?
I never shot basketball there. I actually would go over in the morning when Grover was training. We would train together.
Scottie, can you get the mic a little bit closer?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was actually I would train with Michael. I guess the last 3 championships that we won, we trained together at his house. But other than that, we didn't really put a lot of time in away from basketball. Most of our time was spent, whether we were working out or on the practice floor.
See, this to me speaks of disingenuousness, right? Because everybody knows about it and it's been written about in terms of even getting past Detroit before they started winning the early morning breakfast club workout sessions. So now it's you only start training with Mike during the second three-peat. This is what I'm saying.
At his house.
None of this stuff adds up. Say again.
At his house.
Okay.
Yeah. The response was the last 3 years at his house, because he asked, have you ever, been over Michael Jordan's house for dinner or anything like that? And he was like, the only time I've ever been over there was to work out. He was like, the last 3 championships, that's when he started working over there, because Grover was over there and they trained over there. So that was in response to his house. I don't think that was not the entirety.
I got you. Fair enough. So do we think that he never trained at his house before that? I can't imagine that.
Maybe.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Jordan probably like, yeah, he's right. He never came over there until the second three-peat.
Okay.
Right?
Also, the thing to look at is once you spend as much time as those two have together, any time away is probably like, nah, we're not doing none of the extra stuff, because now I got to see you every day at practice. I got to travel on the road with you. Like, there's no way I want to like spend any other more time than I have to with you.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Bruce, you got your opinions. That's cool. I love how you're so adamant that Michael is a horrible person that you don't know. But when other people say stuff about other people you're in love with, you take it away. But that's okay. We'll move right on. Here goes Scottie with more to say, continuing from that interview.
We're going to play a game called NBA Draft Pick.
Yeah.
Who's your number one draft pick to put a team together?
Which era?
Any era. Today, to play today, who do you pick as your number one draft pick?
In today's era player, I'll take Wembanyama, the young player with San Antonio.
So your all-time to pick your number one draft pick, you pick Wemby 1. Wow. Who's 2?
Well, you saying now, so I got to look at this era and say, hey, this kid young.
So
he's got 1 year. Yeah.
So you think Wemby
I'll develop him.
You think Wemby in this era does better than Michael would do in this era?
Well, you asked me this era. That's why I asked.
I got you.
Which
do all time. I'm sorry. Do all time.
Do all time. Then I'm gonna pick my era.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the team that won 6 titles.
Who's your number one draft pick player?
I'm gonna pick Michael.
So let's stop right there, right? So here we go. Number one draft pick. He clearly says Michael, but he also says that he's the greatest player. Scottie is on the record saying that. He's also on the record saying LeBron. He's also on the record now saying Magic. It's like, what are we doing here? This is what I'm talking about, right? Like, Sneed, I respect that you're saying that he has a right to have his own opinion, but his own opinion is not his opinion. His opinion is whatever's going on for that day, for whatever mood he's in, right? He got a lot of feelings going on. Transformer, you had something to say? I'm sorry.
No. I was just chiming in because I was like, the question was not finite enough for him to answer, because I'm like, okay, like Wembanyama, he was like, oh, for all time. I'm like, well, you can't do that. And that goes back to what I talked to you a lot about, Bruce. I'm like, we can't define one player of all time because of the different eras. He made it very, very clear, like what era. In this era, I'll pick this guy. In the 2000s, I'm gonna pick this guy. In the 90s, I'm gonna pick this guy. So I think that was pretty cool that he just like he made it clear, like these eras are different. It depends on what sets we're running, what are the rules, what are the competition like. Are they shooting 53s in the era that I got to draft this player in? Because if not, Michael may not be the best player I'm gonna pick because of the 3-point shooting and all the traveling and all the nonsense. So yeah, I did like that part though.
G, you had anything on that?
Nah, I didn't really have anything. We made nothing that you guys didn't already cover.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
this is a good point. Ija Morris, he also called Michael Jordan a horrible player. He did that. He said that in his book, but he chose Michael as a number one overall pick. You see, this is why we say the dude is crazy. This is not because he has a dissenting opinion, but because he's not demonstrating mental stability, which is one of the hallmarks of being crazy.
But now, do you think that that's a different question, a different opinion? Because he says horrible player because I played with him. But then if you hear him say, I get to mature, I get to coach this pick. At this point, he's not playing with him. he's the coach. He's the leader of grooming Jordan to what he wants him to be. So don't you think that's a little different?
No, I don't. I don't think plain and simple that you get to say somebody's a horrible player, but then you would pick them number one overall. All right, I'm going to check it out, Laker Nation. I might have missed that. But yeah, I don't think you get to say, if somebody's a horrible player, there's only but so much you can coach him into a good player, right? But then you're still saying you would pick him number one all time. See what I'm saying? Where that doesn't add up? Mental instability is a hallmark of being crazy. So, all right.
Okay. Who's your 2?
I'm gonna pick me.
I agree. Who's your 3? To put a team that wins, who's your 3?
I'm gonna pick Dennis or Horace Grant, whichever era.
I see what you're doing. I see. Okay, so let's just say Dennis is 3. Who's your 4?
Don't matter. Give me anybody. I'll take you.
So let me get this straight. So your mindset is you, Michael, and Dennis will beat any team that anybody puts together.
We did it for 3 years.
Twice.
No, I did it with Horace the first time. But yeah, me and Michael did it.
That's right. 6. That's right. That's fair enough. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's why I said Dennis or Horace. Okay. But if you're, and I want to qualify this because to me, that could still be a safe space answer because you're still saying that I'm picking us against anybody else. Right.
I'm picking the greatest team against anybody.
Yeah, but when you say you're the greatest of all time and the GOAT debate, that's still saying that you're ahead of Michael. So your position is still in the game of NBA, you're the greatest of all time all around.
I'm speaking from a team standpoint.
Now look how he's trying to move the goalposts, right? He's saying he's the greatest of all time. Now I'm speaking from a team that. What are you saying? What are you really saying? And this is like really, I'm going to say it's really annoying to me, right? What are you saying? And the problem here is Patrick Bet-David, while he is clearly a successful businessman, he's not a journalist because he's allowing Scottie to dance around all these questions. And if you notice, a lot of the questions he asks are poorly worded, they're leading, etc. Like I'm listening to this interview and I'm like, this wasn't well conducted at all, man. I thought it was, obviously is viable for getting Scottie to say some things, but I think it was, I think many of his questions were poorly phrased and he really allowed Scottie to dance around a lot of the things that he was trying to get out of him instead of saying, look, nah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to follow up. Sometimes you got to push. And sometimes it irritates the people that you're interviewing, but I mean, you got to do that, But again, he's not a journalist, so I understand kind of where that fall off is happening there.
True. You're right. I mean, you're right. Because I want to hear more. I want to hear more. This is the part that I wasn't able to listen to earlier, but I feel like we're getting somewhere in the conversation because me personally, you picking Jordan, you're picking yourself, and you said Horace Grant or Timmy?
Dennis Rodman.
Oh, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman. Yeah, okay. So Dennis or Horace Grant, Pippen or Jordan, that 3 is going to beat anybody.
That's what he says.
I call BS because
I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah. So you can put anybody at the 5. You're gonna put anybody at the 1. You're gonna get cooked if anybody put Shaq and Kobe and anybody else because now your interior is screwed over. Your interior is screwed over. So I mean, I thought that was funny. I mean, granted, you're the best of that era. But to say just you 3 and you can get anybody and you guys are gonna dominate, you know what I mean? Like, find that just to be a little unrealistic. No.
Yeah. Bruce, you're wrong on this. 2017 Warriors will not destroy the Bulls because those Bulls championship teams, especially the second three-peat, those are the greatest perimeter defensive teams we've ever seen. And there's no way, first of all, Klay's not guarding Mike, right? Steph Curry is not guarding even Ron Harper, right? But Ron Harper with his length or Michael Jordan, either one of those could lock up. Well, I guess the matchup would be Mike on Klay and then Ron Harper on Steph. And you have Scottie on Kevin Durant, which that would neutralize Kevin Durant. You could say all you want about KD and how great he is. But again, I'll point back to it again and again. We saw just 4 years ago in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics how he got completely locked up in that series.
But it took 2 bodies.
You don't have to believe me.
It took 2 bodies.
Well, it took multiple bodies getting thrown at him from different angles, but that's what defense was back then, right?
But then it's like, but who like
take players out of there?
No, I get what you're saying, but the question is, who was the second body you're sending? Because now you're going to leave one of the two open.
Well,
Steph,
yeah,
Clay, or KD.
No doubt. But trust me, they can figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And again, that was the size and the length on that team defensively on the perimeter. I don't think that they couldn't deal with that. They couldn't.
I get what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but we're talking about the minimized era of when they had to guard the perimeter. You got to guard KD and them out 30 feet. They've never had to go out 30 feet. So now this is what I mean by it's going to be different, than what people think. Because like Bulls have great perimeter defenders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was at 23 to 22 feet that they had to guard them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to guard them at 26, 27, 28. Steph can shoot from 35. KD can shoot from 30. Clay can just shoot from wherever. So at that point, that now, like as you're close and you're in a bunch, you got to spread out. So now that them lanes are open, who's going to be the one to move to come check KD in the double team? Who's going to be the one to be, rotating on all these wide screens? So like I said, it could be a little bit different than what we're thinking, that they can lock up the perimeter. The perimeter is a lot more spread out. So, yeah. Not saying you're right or wrong. I'm not saying I disagree or agree. I'm just
no, I get it, but I think also that, and I get it, but we have, the NBA defensive coaches back then, man, they were geniuses. So, yeah, but okay, so let's go. Let's go back to this.
Would you put yourself ahead of LeBron?
As a team standpoint.
Would you put yourself ahead of LeBron as a team standpoint?
My success as a team is more successful than LeBron. I got 6 rings.
Right here, Patrick Bet-David just said yes, but do you put yourself ahead of LeBron as an all-around player in the NBA? Do you think you're better than him? That's what I would have asked him. You got to nail him down on that. And then you say, okay, do you think that you could defend LeBron and stop him? You got to ask those questions. See, this is where I was disappointed, but you could tell like he was playing softball with him.
Okay, so then if I talk to an NBA owner, by the way, this is very helpful because this is very helpful because for me as a fan, I've followed this. So if I speak from an NBA standpoint, owner, and I want to find an all-around player to be my number one, you think the average owner is going to pick you or LeBron?
I don't know.
Got it. Okay. So that.
You want individual accolades or you want championships? Because I didn't chase mine.
Okay. And that's an argument that LeBron went to Miami. He went back to Cleveland to win with Kyrie, and then he went back to LA to win with Anthony Davis. All are, Michael never had teammates like that. And you had Michael as a teammate, but
the GOAT. So you had the GOAT.
Yes.
You had the GOAT.
Correct.
Bron didn't have the GOAT.
No.
So you were Robin.
Yes.
When was LeBron ever Robin on any of his teams?
He wasn't for the most part. I think he may have been maybe that first year in Miami or
Dallas. But I'm winning when he won. That's my
okay.
question.
Never.
Scottie, you were always Robin.
Yes.
Always Robin.
Yes.
The first person to touch that trophy is Jordan, not
Correct.
you. The one that hosts an MVP trophy, that's Jordan.
Not you.
Yes,
correct.
LeBron got to hold both first.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. There's a pecking order here, right?
I'm with you.
There's a pecking order here. You can't go and say, he chased teams, but you was on the coattails of the greatest player of all time. Make it make sense, bro.
I think defensively, Scottie is a better defender than LeBron.
Hands down.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, right. And so we just strictly talking offense, then your point makes sense. But if we talking about both sides of the court, which a lot of players don't do, I think Scottie was a better defender than Mike. He had all the tough assignments. He had all his tough assignments, bro.
That's a false narrative. That's actually a false narrative. If you go back and look, like do your research. See, this is what I always tell you. You say things, but you didn't do the research. I'm prepared for this as well because dealing with people like Bruce and the Bron people. So actually, Michael Jordan.
Bron people like it's a race.
Well, Michael Jordan actually through those playoff runs and those championship runs defended the best offensive player, not center, obviously, but the best offensive player on the wing more often at a higher percentage than Scottie Pippen did. But what it is because Scottie Pippen, don't get me wrong, was an elite defender, it's a narrative. See, people say that Scottie Pippen saved the finals in 91 because he went and locked up Magic. Michael Jordan actually defended Magic Johnson for a greater period of time in those finals than Scottie Pippen did, and Scottie Pippen has admitted this. So it's a false narrative. Don't fall for that.
I'm not preaching false narrative. I'm telling you what I saw, and what I saw is that a lot of times Scottie did a really, really good job of playing defense. That's what I'm saying. Versus LeBron.
But you said he was a better defender than Jordan, and that's not
true. In some cases.
Okay.
Yeah, some cases.
Okay. All right. Back to the clip. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But what I will say is
yes, sir.
A lot of people are, how can I put it? Mm-hmm. They believe it's just one way. It's either Bron or Michael, and that's not the case. Like, Pippen has been a defender his entire career. He's been known for defending more or less than he has been known for scoring, right? Mm-hmm. You say that's a true statement?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. So if he's a natural defender and Mike is shooting the ball 30, 40 times, mm-hmm. you don't think that, like, some of these reps he's getting, like, I'm not going to go back and watch all the games. So telling me to do my research I'm not going to do that. I mean, I think there's narratives both ways, right? I think there's narratives both ways. But what I remember saying is Scottie being a better defender, one of the better defenders on that team.
He was, of course, one of the better defenders on that team. But what I'm saying is he's not a better defender than Michael Jordan. He doesn't have more.
How do you measure that?
You measure it from the impact. You measure it from the stats. Michael, see, what happens is people forget about how great a defender Michael Jordan was.
Scottie said he was stealing his steals.
Huh?
Scottie said he was stealing his steals, giving it to Michael.
Well,
so stats is kind of
we're not going to get this argument, but again, I can just say if you wanted to, you could go do the research. But that's that. All right. Real quick, y'all. If you haven't already in your chat, please make sure you go ahead, click that like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Only got what we got. We don't have enough likes in here. We need the likes equaling the number of people.
Too many viewers, not enough likes.
That's it.
Hit the like button or I'm cutting off the mic. Bars.
It's free, y'all. It's free, man. Click the button.
Free. Free 99, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, but let's get back to the clip.
But in this specific context, Scottie, I think this is very important because I'm really trying to understand your position. Is specific with you against Michael. You're still saying Michael's the greatest of all time, but maybe you're saying you're the greatest teammate of all time. Would that be a better way of qualifying it?
I would say, if you want to say it that way.
See, why is he bailing him out by telling him what he's saying? No, pin him down. You know what? I'm just getting irritated. But I'll just say for the last time, pin him down, make him answer the question. Don't bail him out by giving him the answer.
The out. Yeah, giving him out.
Yeah, because you heard what he just did, right? He gave it to him. So Sky's, well, if you want to say it that way. No. I'm not saying it that way.
You answer the question.
Right.
I mean, you answer. I'm going to ask it. Right. You answer it.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to get a definitive response from you based on your previous commentary. This is not that hard.
But again, team sports to me, there's no GOAT. There's great teams. But as an individual, you got to go to individual sports.
Wait a minute. So now there's no GOAT.
Now there's no GOAT.
Now there's been LeBron, there's been Mike, there's himself, there's Magic, but now there's no GOAT. He's crazy. This is what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
So we just ended all the GOAT debates, right? Did we just end it? No.
I guess in his eyes he did. but Transformer, you and I agree once again. We can do. Well, first of all, let's get rid of the whole GOAT thing, period. Because GOAT says greatest of all time.
Greatest of
it needs to be like right there. You go.
Greatest of
era. Yeah, the go. You know. But no, you're 100% right.
Greatest of your time.
Needs to stop.
G.O.A.T. G.O.A.T.
Something. Right. You know.
G.O.A.T.
Yeah. So so the last thing we'll talk about is in this Scottie thing, and then we'll wrap up this topic. I just thought it was really interesting. Like, I sat back and I listened to it, and I'm like, this dude he's wild. There's something going on here. But G, do you have anything on that before we get into him talking about the modern NBA?
No, it's the same as the first clip.
I got you.
Flip flopping everywhere.
I got you, man. He like a fish in the boat. All right, this is the last one, y'all, on this topic. Then we'll this is the last one from this interview that we're gonna discuss, and then we'll wrap up this topic and go on.
I no longer watch the NBA. Okay, to me, they've lost me as a fan. You,
like many other people, but go ahead.
You, as somebody who was face known worldwide, what happened to the NBA the last 10, 20 years?
Well, I feel like that the game changed. It became more of a perimeter shooter game, if I could say that. And I think I remember right when I was leaving the game, early 2000, that the league promoted more scoring. They wanted to get more points up on the board. They felt like that would get the fans more engaged.
Tail end of your career.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
So
The Blazers.
It at that point, to me, it started looking more like a game built for offensive players, guys that did play defense and, took pride in playing defense, were to some degree punished, I felt like, because everything was working in favor of the offensive player. And then they put the circle in there where a guy is not allowed to take a charge at certain points in the lane, at a certain position in the lane. So I think with a lot of things changing within the game, and a lot of it was for the good, looking at, the physicality of the game as to where it was in the 90s. But I think a lot of that got wiped away. And I think that's where a lot of the fans lost interest in the game.
So you're saying, because LeBron said the 3-point game, right? A lot of people said the 3-point game. You're saying the defense. Rob, I just pulled this up, which is a very interesting stat, by the way, based on what you're saying. I pulled up what year the NBA averaged the least amount of points.
All right, so I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm not gonna go through, because he actually runs down the points on average from from now all the way back to like 97, and that could get a little tedious, so I'm not gonna play that whole thing. But
yeah,
it was interesting because obviously he talks about all the perimeter shooting and kind of the lack of physicality and variety in the game, and then later he'll talk about the carrying and the traveling. I mean, everyone knows it. We know what it is. So just kind of your thoughts on him saying that, explaining why he believes the NBA has turned a lot of fans off.
I mean, it goes more to what I was saying earlier. Like I said, the style of, when he picks his era of basketball players to be the greatest of all time, and what they allow now, right? The game is just completely different. Everything is 3-3-3. What are the Celtics averaging? 50 a game?
Yes.
50 a game, right?
Yes.
You couldn't, out of the whole slate of basketball games back when Jordan played, you wasn't finna see 50 attempts from all the games played. So you see that from one team in today's league, and you didn't see it from all of the teams combined in a night slate of basketball games. So that right there is completely different. I do agree with him that the love for the game was lost because everything is a 3. Everything's a 3.
Yeah.
Everything's a 3, or it's a very, very long 2, or it's got to be some flashy crossover, or it's got to be a dunk, right? There's no post game, there's no skill involved, there's no pump, like there's nothing like, when you showed that Kobe clip that you so gracefully put up there about the Lakers tribute the other day, is when he got in that post and he was at 15 to 20 feet.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this defender move out of my way.
Yes.
Right. Or I'm going to shoot over the top of him because I have the position and I have the angle on him. We don't see none of that nowadays. It's more screen, pass, screen, shoot the 3. Okay, good. Yeah. Rebound, kick it back to the corner, shoot the 3. Okay, now you missed out. Oh, we're going to kick it to the top of the key, screen, dribble tween, shoot the 3. Like, nobody is going to make a different move. Like, and I think that's where it just gets boring. It gets lazy. And as defenders, I mean, what are you going to do to defend it now? Because if I touch him, it's a foul.
Right.
If I touch them, it's a foul. I can't shoot them when I can't touch them when they're going up, and I got to be out of their way when they're coming down. So It's a whole lot, man. So I agree with him for the most part when he says stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I think it's interesting. Great point, Laker Nation. And also to kind of build on that point you just gave, Laker Nation, if the players today are so much more skilled, as we always hear, why do they always need a screen to get a shot off?
Oh, that's screen galore.
And obviously screening has always been part of the game of basketball, but why do they always need that? And why do they have to dribble so many times to get a shot off? I don't understand that. We saw Mike and Kobe and even KD to that point making a living off 1, 2, 3 dribble pull-ups. Why can't more players do that? They're more skilled, right? What's going on? G, your thoughts, man?
Man, I think the NBA created a monster. They created a monster that they can't control now, right? With all the threes. But even the clock can be wrong at least twice a day. And so NBA champion is spot on when you talk about the NBA and where the state of the game is right now.
Facts.
So it's just my thing.
Yeah. And to your point, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. You know what? I'll hold that comment because next up we're going to talk about Adam Silver and his commentary when he was interviewed by Colin Cowherd recently, a few days ago. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, so man, Scottie had a lot to say. I encourage you, if you're a basketball fan and this stuff you're interested in and you want to hear it, you can go to the Valuetainment YouTube channel, not now, after we're done. And you know, they cut it all up. So there's probably 10 or 15 different clips from that interview. And I think you can also watch the whole thing. It's like 2.5 hours long, something like that. But he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say. And real quick, Bruce, let me respond to you. It's not about he's not crazy. He's not crazy because I don't agree. That's not that. Really, Bruce, that's not it. So let's do this. Crazy, because you know where I'm going, is defined as very foolish, senseless, or strange. I would say that Scottie fits all three of those. Does he not?
Yeah.
In this interview, he fits all three of those. So it's not a function of him disagreeing with me, so I'm saying he's crazy. No. He's I don't care if he disagrees with me or not. I'm saying he's crazy because he's demonstrating, and I've said this multiple times in the show. I'll say it one more time for you, Bruce. He's demonstrating marked mental instability, which is one of the hallmarks of being crazy. He said things that are very foolish. He said things that are senseless. He said things that are strange, all in this interview, right? Very foolish, senseless, or strange, crazy. So you can say all you want. He's not crazy because he disagrees with you, Bruce. Stop it. No. Yeah. He's crazy because he's demonstrating the characteristics of being crazy. So I don't just say
not
stuff
crazy as in a psychopath. We're not asking him to be put in a straitjacket.
Yeah. We're not saying that he's an axe murderer out here. You know, that's not it. But yeah, so that's what that is. But you know what? Let's do this real quick, y'all. Let's open up the phone lines real quick because we've been talking for a while. Let's give the people a chance to respond. Let's try to keep it to 5 minutes or less so we can keep the show moving.
904.
A little longer than I thought.
8264.
There you go. It's on the screen. It's rolling on the bottom. And again, if you haven't already, please go ahead, click that like and subscribe, y'all. We always need the amount of likes matching the amount of people who are in the chat. So let's do that. Like and subscribe. It's free, y'all. Just click the thumbs up and just click that subscribe button. All right. Let's go ahead and all right. Here we go. Sneed, salam, brother. How are you?
Salam. What's going on, guys?
Maintaining, my man.
Take my call, man. Thank you.
Always.
Bro, he ain't crazy.
Okay.
He said things that actually were correct.
Mm-hmm.
He said things that weren't, I don't know, what do you want to say, objective at times.
Mm-hmm.
But who the hell is asking these guys to be objective?
I would.
This guy was in the league, played in the league for 2 decades, was a dominant player, is viewed as arguably one of the best two-way players to ever play the game.
Yes.
And we're not expecting him to sound a little bit biased about certain things.
A little bit?
But it's cool when others do it, though. Like, yeah, we should call out when guys aren't being objective, but they're not. Even a guy like Patrick Bet-David, he didn't bring him on to be objective. Nobody wants these guys on. They want them to take sides, to be biased and say certain things, because being objective doesn't pay the bills, bro.
Right.
Being
I get that.
objective doesn't get ratings. Like, man, And then some of the stuff he said was right. So that, and it's a microcosm of society in the world when you listen to a guy like Scottie speak, who has mentally been through the ringer the last 30 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's often disrespected on so many levels. I mean, what you expect to get, you expect someone to get punched in the face 9,000 times and not see bruising? Is that real life?
Well, I disagree that he's been disrespected on many levels. In my opinion, I believe he's been overrated on many levels. When you hear people say,
"Yeah, go ahead." For your son to get with your former wife.
Look,
that's his wife.
Right. That's I get what you're saying. Yes, I get that, because I'm saying, like, he can't control her, nor can he control Michael Jordan's son. So why he's taking that out on Jordan, if that's part of the reason he's behaving the way he is, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Now, are you guys going to be tight and you guys are going to be, quote unquote bosom buddies after that? Yeah, probably not. But like, why he's using that again, if he is, as a reason to take it out on Mike, is kind of like, really? Like, what are we doing here?
Maybe what happened with Scottie through all these years, from like a mental standpoint, like, it's taken its toll, and now you're just seeing it manifest itself because now he's in front of a hot mic. So we're getting insight on the psychology of a former player who at one point was on top of the world. And he's now in front of a hot mic saying, and he's, some of what he says was true, for sure, and it adds up and it makes sense.
Such as?
And some of what he says is wacky because he's not thinking. It almost seems like he was just rambling. But that's what happens when someone just speaks freely without thought. Like, he didn't think about the things he was going to say.
How?
You could tell. He was just like saying, and that's why Transformer was right about one thing. There was a point where Scottie was talking, he's like, that shit was word salad. It's true. Some of that was word salad, and he didn't really say anything because he didn't know what to say.
But Sneed, let me ask you this, man. And you and I often agree, but no two people are ever going to agree 100% of the time because they're different people, different experiences, different thoughts, so on and so forth, right? But I think where we digress on this one is, how could Scottie Pippen how could he not know that going on this show, that any show that he goes on now, any interview he agrees to do, that this is not going to be the focus of the discussion and the questions that he's going to be asked? How can he not be prepared for that? And I'm not saying necessarily write down notes and all that, but in general, how could he not be ready for that? That's confounding to me. He took the time to write it in his book. Say again.
People do that. I'll tell you why. I've heard and seen people tell me they've gone into interviews without any preparation. And we're talking about an interview that's going to literally dictate the trajectory of their earning career. And they just wing it. They just go in. I mean, I see that all the time. And then, of course, it gets exposed and you can see it. I'm not surprised he wasn't ready or prepared for certain things. I don't think he ever really thought about, like, what the blowback would be by saying certain things. Anything that has to do with Michael is what everybody wants to know about Scottie.
Right.
And that's the only thing they care about Scottie. They don't care about anything else.
Well,
nobody cares about him on a personal level. Nobody cares what he thinks about modern defenses. Nobody cares about what he thinks about, Kawhi Leonard missing game. They don't care. They want to know intricate details about the time that Michael, elbowed him in the rib on that practice or in that locker room that one time back in February of 1990. That's all they care about. And there's more to him, and that's unfortunate, but that's his fame. It's connected to MJ, unfortunately.
So I definitely get that, Sneed, and I don't disagree with it, but I think a big part of that also is the stuff that he wrote in his book, the stuff he's going out there and saying, like, unprompted. And so that's why people are now asking these questions about Michael. What do you think is the most egregious, flamboyant, crazy, wacky thing that he mentioned in his book that you think deserves scrutiny or follow-up? Michael was a horrible player. That's one. And two,
he said what?
He said Michael was a horrible player. Like that's insane to me that anyone, whether or not you think he's the GOAT, we're not even talking about that. But to say Michael Jordan was a horrible player is crazy.
He said that?
He said that.
He said that.
He said that. That's on wax, bro. He said that. And so that's why I'm like,
was it that he was a horrible player or a horrible teammate?
No. He said he's a horrible player.
I've heard him saying he was a bad teammate. I haven't. That's why I'm surprised. I'd never.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So but
so
that's where we are.
That's worthy of scrutiny because anybody who watches basketball and saw any of these guys play knows, like, your eye test what's good and what's not good.
No, unfortunately, that's not true. There's a lot of people who say ridiculous things. Scottie Pippen called former Chicago
basketball player when you see one, though.
You would think.
Yeah, the ball goes in the hoop, bro. It's like,
Yeah, well. But yeah, Sneed, let me let you go, man. We gotta keep it moving here, man. But I appreciate the call, brother. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the show, guys.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll take one more call if somebody wants to get one in here, and then we'll move on. But yeah, let's see.
How dare you talk like that about my GOAT?
Right. Yeah, so interesting. Scottie Pippen called former Chicago Bulls teammate Michael Jordan a horrible player during an appearance on fellow Bulls teammate Stacey King's podcast, Give Me the Hot Sauce. So he said it there, and he also said it in the book. So, yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and move it on, man. Let's move it on to the next topic. Where were we? Let's see. 3 Floyd, what's going on, man? No, I get it. He said he was horrible early in his career because his shot selection was crap. How's your shot selection crap and you're consistently shooting over 50% as a guard in one of the most tough defensive eras? See, this is what we got to stop doing that. And he didn't pass. That's also not true. Michael Jordan averaged 32, 8, and 8. Like, we know Michael passed because his assist numbers actually went down in the triangle because nobody averages big assists in the triangle. I've talked about this. But we see this is all narrative, and it's just not true. And Scottie knows better. And we can't say that's all he really meant. We don't know what he meant. We know what he said, right? Unless we can read minds. All right, good stuff, Laker Nation. Yep, I'll be waiting for that. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next topic. Continuing on the NBA, what was it, 3 or 4 days ago, Colin Cowherd had on as a guest NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. And I thought this was interesting. They had like a 29-minute discussion interview. And again, I think Cowherd kind of softballed this. I guess when you're working for one of the major media outlets, you can't go too hard when you're doing some of these interviews. But there was definitely some interesting things that were said. And I'll give Cowherd some credit that he did, ask some of the quote unquote tough questions about the NBA and, what's going on and so forth. So I try to cut it down as much as I could. And we may even cut out some more as we're going here, but I definitely wanted to discuss this. Did any of you have the opportunity to hear that interview?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's get to it. And again, if you guys want this interview, you can go right on YouTube again after we get off, not now. And you can listen to the interview in its entirety. Just look up Colin Cowherd, Adam Silver interview. And 33 in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like and subscribe.
Okay, you took it away from me. Never mind. Go ahead.
Cool.
I was getting the attention to get.
I got you.
I was going to mention that, but never mind. You already got it.
Appreciate it.
So I'm going to go ahead and put my hands back down.
Let's go ahead and make those likes match the number of people that are in here with the show. All right, let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. We're going to go ahead and start it off, and we're going to do kind of a similar thing that we did on that first topic, kind of reacting in real time. I know this is getting away from what we normally do here, but in terms of discussing the NBA, there were these two, really huge interviews that took place this week. So I wanted to take the opportunity to really come in here, discuss them with the guys, discuss them with you. So let's go. This is Colin Cowherd on his show, The Herd, on Fox Sports 1, and he is interviewing NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
I'm going to throw this at you. I said this the other day about the aesthetic of the NBA. It's a bit homogenous, a little cookie cutter. And I said, listen, I don't mind 3-pointers, but if the NFL was just you could run the ball and throw bombs, no layering, no drag routes, no tight end screen. It was just slants. Run it or bombs. Optically, it's not as fascinating. And I love the 3-pointer. But and you know this, you're a pretty progressive thinker, I think. Athletes are better. Wemby can pull up and cross you over on a dribble and shoot. They couldn't do that 10 years ago. And the truth is, because your players are so gifted and it's such a global pool, the 3-pointer is too easy. And I have simply said, I would put the 3-pointer, I would have it go into the bench about 6 feet up, eliminate the corner. I'd bring back the hand check. I do like physicality. Your athletes are so great, it's become too easy to hit it. And the optics on it are repetitive.
All right, real quick, y'all. So this is where I get frustrated again, but these dudes know where the bread is buttered. Colin Cowherd is saying, I like physicality. No, he doesn't like physicality. If you watch or listen to Cowherd, he's always talking about how guys in the 80s and 90s couldn't shoot and how they were tackling people. That's literally the words that he uses. They were tackling people. That's how he says it. They were tackling people. So he does not like physicality. But now he's on here.
What did he say again, Bruce?
They were tackling people. That's how he says it. I'm trying to tell you. Go look it up, bro. That's how he says it. But it's crazy because, yes, Laker Nation, I know it was absurd. I know. And you will never hear me caping up for that. But back to the topic. No, that's what Cowherd says, and it's frustrating, as if these guys don't know that people can go pull the receipts. Like everything you say now, everything you tweet, it's all out there now. People can go pull the receipts. Stop acting like we didn't hear you say something different last week. Stop acting like we didn't hear you say something different yesterday. But anyway, that was really frustrating. But let's go ahead and continue. Oh, and real quick. My solution to this 3-point thing before we get to Adam Silver, I've said it. Just limit the amount of threes somebody can take in a game. Put a cap on it. That's right. After that, you can shoot wherever you want, but it's only going to be 2. And that's going to force guys to play in the post. That's going to force the mid-range back. This is not that hard. Just put a cap on the threes. That's it. And then you know what that'll also do with these rules changes? It'll change the way guys score, and it will force the NBA to start delineating errors, right? Because of these rules changes. It'll force that. And then we can get rid of this stupid GOAT discussion altogether, which I'm sure the NBA likes, but we all think is nonsense. But let's go ahead.
I think there's numbers, ratings that prove people are, they like layers and power forwards and physicality and not just dunks and threes. What do you do to solve that? Because I think you've engaged with people and acknowledged it can be a bit repetitive. It is a bit of an issue. What do we do to change it?
The hardest question is the last one you asked. What do we do to change it? I agree to the extent that you start to see very similar offenses around the league. You know, teams have brands, teams have identity. You know, Joe Dumars is a colleague now at the league office, the Bad Boys, etc. You know, I think, you know, the Showtime Lakers. So I recognize that to the extent that offenses start to look very similar, we lose that. At the same time, the league is going through a transformation. Just as you said, players like Victor Wembanyama, players like, you know, Jokic are doing things big men never did historically. I mean, It wasn't that long ago, Colin. You'll remember that conversations you had with David Stern, we would bemoan the lack of skill among some players, that, you know, there was a sense there was too much physicality around the game.
Yes.
That the play under the basket, you know, that you would have, you know, the Hack-a-Shack era. You know, there were big men that just couldn't shoot free throws. There are no big men anymore who can't shoot. Free throws, just as one comparable from generation to generation, have never been higher. So I think we just got to be careful. Like, the one thing I want to do is, I don't want to sort of knee-jerk move the 3-point line. We're sort of going through a process now, seeing how these players are adapting to the new rules and figuring out if whatever changes we should make. I mean, to be honest, I wish it were as simple as just moving the 3-point line back, because then we would just do it. I mean, part of the concern from the basketball folks is that if you move the 3-point line back, you'll end up sort of just shooting from there. You know, the sort of the area under the basket.
What is his aversion to low post play? You know, he said, well, if we move the 3-point line back, we'll end up clogging up the area under the basket, and that won't be pleasing either. What? How? What is his aversion to post play? Was it ugly when Dream was playing in the post?
No.
Or when Ewing was playing in the post? Or when Shaq was dominating the when Shaq was dominating in the post?
No.
Or D-Rob was playing in the post?
No.
What are we doing here? What are we?
That back down move opened up a whole lane of okay, cut, somebody cut, or I got it, or I got this guy.
Yes,
I'm getting a basket. That's what I be asking Anthony Davis to do. like Anthony Davis,
not that hard. I don't
put him in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in the box. Back
I don't get it,
bro. Joel Embiid, when he does that, I'm like, do that more often.
Do that more often. Right.
You're the biggest guy in the NBA.
Yes, they can't stop you when you're down there.
Them. Like, bro, okay, got him.
Facts.
I can either shoot it or I can hook it or I'm a dunk it. You're bigger than them.
That's right.
What do you think Shaq did for 10 years? I'm bigger than you. I am going to move you.
Yes.
I'm going to move you out of my way. But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
G, your thoughts, man.
I don't know what he's gonna be able to do, bro. Like, and it might just be one of those things where if he go back to certain rules now, they didn't kind of like made themselves seem like they don't know what they're doing from the perspective of changing rules. And I mean, I don't think it's gonna take extending the perimeter, add more points if you can shoot from a certain.
No, you don't want that.
I think defense is the answer, bro. Defense you have to be able to hand check. I think the hand check will slow all that shit up, man. It just got out of hand, and then you can maybe have a 2-second hand check where you can hand check for 2 seconds or something like that. Put a time limit on it or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do, man. This is monster. He created it.
Right. No, so again, what I always say is that if you bring back the defense like it was before, you get exposed as a league. All these players you've been hyping, they get exposed. So I don't even know that you can do that. Like I said, the only thing I can think of is putting a cap on the amount of threes you can take. That's it. Real quick, y'all. I see you in the chat talking about Jason Tatum being crazy. Right? Being crazy. Talk about the Green Mamba. Let me take a shot at my own Celtic fan here. Check this out.
Do we have tape?
I don't think
he say it. I don't think he said that.
When G sent me that, I think it was G sent me that. I was looking all over to try to find some type of reputable source for that.
Because I saw it too. Before G put it in the chat. Okay. I saw it and I was like, okay, all right, that may not be real. But then I saw it was Basketball Network or some popular social media site. I'm like,
Basketball Network, yeah.
I'm like, wait, is this for real?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I haven't heard him say it.
I
haven't so that's why I'm optimistic about it. I'm like, this man couldn't have been that bold to say nothing like that.
Right.
He can't be. Yeah. Green Mamba? Are you serious?
So here's why that's stupid and crazy. Because green mambas are not even venomous. So what would be the point?
Why did you think he called himself the Black Mamba? He just was black because of his skin. He didn't just
G, if this is true, G, I got to ride with you on this Tatum thing. I can't believe it.
I'm just like, it's not even venomous. So what you going out there just wrapping your body around people?
Like you know me. I'm a person. I believe on checking things for our same. Did you think about this first?
No, he couldn't have, man. There's no way.
Google. If you do a quick Google search, who is the Green Mamba? Tatum is going to show up. Remember, this guy got like one of the biggest social media presence in the league. So I don't know.
That doesn't mean that he said that or he attributed to that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that. I can only hope not. 3 Floyd says you can't cap threes. What if someone is maxed out in a game? Is final seconds they're open to take a 3 to win the game? Nope. Then you better find a way to run some better offense instead of just being lazy. Get a back door, get a screen, get to the rim and one. How did dudes win the game when they were down in the final seconds before they were 3-pointers? They ran some offense to get a foul, right? Yes.
Green Mambas are extremely venomous snakes with the neurotoxic venom that could be fatal if left untreated. We were wrong.
Okay, I'm wrong. I thought I read something.
We were wrong. I thought it wasn't, but yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
An eastern green mamba is the highly venomous snake. Yeah.
Okay, then I stand corrected.
We stand corrected.
I stand correct. I thought I read something yesterday said they weren't venomous, and I was disgusted. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. But still, don't call yourself that.
Don't call yourself that. Listen, there are no more mambas. How about that?
It was one and only.
Yeah, like the NHL, when Wayne Gretzky retired, they retired the number 99 across the league. How about the NBA says no more Mambas, retired?
That's
right?
cornball. That's what I mean when I say cornball. That's what I mean when I say cornball.
That is if he said it. That's if he
said it. I gotta get proof that he said it.
Yeah, we gotta find that. All right, but let's get back to Colin Cowherd and Adam Silver.
Bad. We totally jumped off topic.
Jumped off. Yeah, that was crazy. This might,
but no, I agree, man. I think the only way we can test it. I think moving the 3-point line is pointless. Why? They'll just start shooting from there. That's all they're going to do. They're already shooting 35, 30 feet.
Right.
Anyway.
It doesn't make sense to move it back.
It doesn't make sense. Now we're just going to see him airing it out from the half-court line. So I don't think moving the 3-point line to be beneficial. I think test the cap. All right, you guys are limited to a certain amount of threes per quarter. Now, because you don't want – I don't think it should be for the entirety of the game. Make it per quarter. That way – because, some teams come out early and like, okay, we're testing out from 3 early. Now they go in the fourth quarter, they're down. They're like, we can't use none of our threes now. So I think if you can cap it per quarter and make everything after 5 or 6 or 7 attempts. After 6 or 7 attempts, everything is a 2. Right.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
now that becomes more strategic. So how you're planning out your shots, you're like, okay, we're in the fourth quarter. Now let's start shooting threes. We're down 12. Let's see if we can get a couple of threes to go. And then we can make it like that. Now it becomes a mind game. Like, you know what I mean? So forces coaches to actually coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Coach a little bit better. Like, all right, now we're going to play from the post here. We're going to run this thing, bring the triangle back for all I care. Right. You know what I mean? So I like that idea, man. Cap it to a quarter. That way you don't use them all too early. You know what I mean? But, now you're limiting.
As a coach. Yeah. As a coach and an assistant, you got to be on top of that, and you got to monitor how you use it. And again, it forces you to have different ways to play and different ways to score.
Absolutely.
Edward, real quick, it's not about having a problem with Brandon Jennings calling him the softest Boston Celtic. Real talk. That's very subjective. That's very subjective. And also, here's the other problem. I'm not going to take it too far into this, but as Black people, I'm going to say it publicly. We got a problem with colorism. We do. So there's this nonsensical narrative about light skin and dark skin and all that. Nah, we all Black people. It's straight BS. So like, I don't buy into none of that, because I know when people say, oh, he's soft. Oh, because he light skin, whatever. Like, that's nonsensical, man. Let the dudes play, do the job. But anyway, let's get back to Cowherd and Adam Silver.
And that's not such attractive basketball either. I think this is doable. I think by examining the game and sort of seeing where it's going. I mean, it frustrates me a little as well, because it's obviously you're representative of what a fair number of people are saying about the game. And I watch it night in, night out. And we're seeing some of the most incredible athleticism and skill in the history of this league. Again, Victor Wembanyama. But I think you're also saying too that.
Okay. Victor Wembanyama can do amazing things.
Hit the play button.
I got it.
Play button.
Okay.
Hit the play button. No.
Okay.
If we move the 3-point line back, and what we ended up with was Victor Wembanyama standing under the basket the whole time and just waiting to dunk, that wouldn't be interesting either.
Right.
So one, I assure you, we are on it. I think it's a very fixable issue. I mean, we've gone from, I always tell the story, like Bob Cousy, who, I don't know, he's around 95 years old, still stays in touch with me. And he'll call me after watching a game and say, I'm so frustrated, because the commentators think that what these players are doing, let's say from 28 feet or 30 feet, and seemingly just flicking the ball up with their wrists and swishing these 3-pointers, that somehow that's easy. He said, the skill level is incredible. But he'll also say, I think we all want to see diversity in the offenses. But by the way, one other thing I'll just throw in, I don't think the players are getting enough credit for playing the style of defense they're playing now as well. So it's an incredible game. I know you love the game. It's, the number one participation sport in the United States. You mentioned Caitlin Clark. It's incredible to see what the women are now doing on the floor and the amount of young girls who are playing this game. So as stewards of the game, Joe Dumars leads our competition committee here. We will tweak it. We will correct those issues.
So years ago, I had President Barack Obama on a couple of times. And one of the things I offered him, I said, you're the first president in my life that's had to deal with social media and the vile nature of it. It may not change policy, but does it change the discussions in the briefing rooms before you go out? Does it change the way perhaps you think of policy? Because we're in a tribal nation, it's very loud. So along those lines, I love George Brett as a baseball player as a kid, Kansas City Royals. George Brett often missed 30 games in a season. Nobody thought it was load management, right? We live in a different time. Platforms call it out, and tickets are more expensive. So it does bother me. I'm a small town kid. I went once a year to see downtown Freddie Brown, Gus Williams, Dennis Johnson, Jack Sikma. If they didn't play, that was the game I got. And I can see that little kid in Milwaukee, middle-class family go, and Giannis could play, but he doesn't. Is it a bigger I think it's a problem. Do you view it as being sort of platformed up by loud voices? Or does the league look at this and think, our middle-class fans, they go to one game a year. They're not corporate stewards. And that they want to go and see their stars play. I think it's serious. Do you in the league think it is a problem that is something you want to solve?
All right, so real quick. So now pay attention to this. And this is something I should have mentioned before this even started. Adam Silver, really smart guy, lawyer, all that. Does a lot of dancing around these topics instead of answering directly. And again, Cowherd, mainstream media, I get it. So he can't go too hard, but at the same time, also not a journalist, right? Opinion, I respect it. I've listened to his show for years since he's been on ESPN. Now he's on FS1, but he doesn't try to nail him down with these questions. It's tough, man. It's tough. So let's hear what Adam Silver has to say and watch him dance around and try to get into all these different topics in terms of being asked about load management and guys missing games. He does answer, but it's not direct.
We so much think it's a problem that in the last collective bargaining agreement, you may recall, we added some provisions to further incentivize players to play as many games as they possibly can by making them ineligible for certain awards, certain benefits if they fall below a certain level of games. Having said that, to your point, and I'm never going to shoot the messenger in terms of whether it's social media or the media. It's a real issue. And how can, for that family, for that one time that they're going to go see the Bucks or the Lakers or the Knicks or whatever else, I completely understand their point of view. The problem is, as much as we are an 82-game league, take LeBron, for example.
Okay.
LeBron has missed, I think, 3 games so far this season.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old. He has the most minutes in NBA history. And he's missed, I think, 3 out of, let's say, 37 games so far. I think that's incredible. Now, for the family that went to the Laker game of one of those 3 games, I understand their disappointment, and I know he does as well. It's with a season as long as we have, by the way, and whether it's because load management or an injury, it's still the same impact on that family. And all I can say is we've worked with our teams. We're working a lot on the science. I think, incidentally, you don't hear load management so much around the league anymore because I think we've dispelled that notion that
Real quick, I don't think you don't hear load management because they've dispelled the notion. I'm pretty sure they put it out, like, stop using the term load management because, it's that fans and consumers of the product don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, like, any smart business knows, like, certain terminology, if it'll turn the fan or the consumer off, don't use it anymore, right? So far, what are your thoughts on these comments, G, on that Adam Silver has on, guys missing games and all that?
So I was speaking on the. I'm gonna get to that as well, but okay. My last point was how he can change the game. How he can change the game and make it fix the 3-point line situation. I think if he incentivize defenders a little better than what they're doing right now, amplify their contributions, and not make it like, oh yeah, MVP is normally the person that scores the most points in the clutch, but very rarely do they give it to the person who locks down that score, right? And so just kind of changing the trajectory or direction that they give out these awards and make them more defensive centric instead of offensive. I think that'll change a lot of stuff, and you'll have more people, along with the salaries as well. Like, you start paying people more for playing defense than you do offense, then you'll have a problem. And then people are going to start to buckle down or they're going to fizzle out. But there's a lot of high salaries going around for people with those straps, as Kawhi would say. And then the other point with the load management, man. At this point, I mean, it's good to be able to go to games and watch your stars play, man. Like I think that's the biggest piece right there. Being able to go to the game and watch. You pay the ticket and you get to actually see these folks. I say that because me and my daughters, they like big Ja Morant fans, and so for their birthday, we're gonna try to get a Wizards Memphis
Grizzlies
tickets. Yeah. But before you had to like, oh man, I don't know if this dude gonna play or what. Yeah. But now these guys are really playing. So I mean, I guess he got an agenda they moving towards, but I don't think they're gonna have enough fans around to continue to allow them to shoot as many threes as they are.
Transform?
No, I think the only way you could fix this load management thing, if it's load managing that you're worried about, and I know this is a foregone conclusion now because you up the pay of everybody, you're gonna have to cut the games. That's an option. You either can cut the games because now, okay, let's shorten it up to a 70-game season. It's too many games. You guys are all taking 5 to 7, 8 games off. Let's take 12 games off the schedule. Yeah. Now it's mandatory. If it's mandatory, you play 70 games unless diagnosed by an NBA doctor, not a team doctor, not your doctor, an NBA doctor that has a diagnosed injury. If not, you're getting fined. Take money. Stop giving to the players and then taking the punishment when they want to do less. I'm not paying you more to do less.
Right.
I'm paying you more to perform, show up for these fans, show up and play the game that you signed the contract to do.
Facts.
You signed the NBA contract. The NBA handed you a deal, said, hey, I'm giving you $250 million for you to play 82 games and play the best that you can for this said franchise, right? So now, put your fucking foot down, Adam. Put your foot down. Put your foot down. Shorten the games. Okay, you need load management. We'll do you a favor. We're going to shorten up the season to 72 games. That's 10 games off. You guys get 10 games off. There you go. I don't want to hear this load management no more unless it's diagnosed by one of my doctors, not the Cleveland Cavaliers doctor, not the Los Angeles doctor, not LeBron James's doctor. My doctor diagnosed your injury and said you are hurt. You will be fined for every game you miss and make it substantial. $250,000. Make it substantial to the point where they're like, okay, nah, I can't be. Stop taking money away from me because I just want to be fucking lazy.
All right, so I agree. So there's a couple things here, right? One, they just signed, what is it? The next TV deal is 11 years, right?
I believe the
$77 billion TV deal, I believe, is 10 or 11 years. So they can't cut the season anytime soon because those people paid for that and they're not giving that money back, right? Nope. So those people paid for 82 games.
11 years. 11 years.
There you go. 11 years.
Starts in 25. Yeah, this year.
There you go. So they're stuck on that because they already paid for a product. So you can't change it now. It would have to be for the next one. Secondly, here's the other problem. Oh, and real quick, 37 in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe. We need as many likes in the chat as we have people in the chat. All right. So anyway,
I like that too, Laker Nation.
Yeah.
If you don't get paid,
I'm with you.
Take money from the players. You have to punish the players.
Right.
You have to have some type of discipline. What happens? We all fathers, right?
Yes.
What happens if your kid keeps going to the refrigerator, knocking all the stuff off the refrigerator, and you're like, okay, I told you once, I told you twice. There's some sort of punishment that happens, right? Either you're grounded, all right? You go in the like no Xbox. There's a you're taking something away from them.
Yes.
We're just telling the NBA player, oh man, play. We'll take the NBA, we'll take the MVP award away from you. That's not doing nothing to them. They still get paid $250 million.
Well, here's the thing though, right? If they can't win certain awards and make certain thresholds, then that does affect their next deal, right? Because the fact that they can make those supermax contracts, part of that is make first team all NBA, make first team all defense, make an MVP. All those things are part of getting that supermax money. So it does affect them.
But it's a cap though. You're giving them what? Well, I think you're giving them 17 games. 17 games a season to miss. That's 17 games.
So here's the thing though. This is what I want to say. And normally I'm the guy that goes in on the players, right? However, I reached out to somebody to discuss this who is very, very in tune with the NBA, was a longtime NBA beat writer, and is what do you call it, an NBA insider, right? So I know this, and he told me that in many cases it's not the player but the organizations that are pushing this because they are trying to save players for the postseason. So in the event that it's the player doing this, cool, I got you. But he says it's in many cases it's the organizations that are doing this, telling them, hey, you gotta, you're not gonna play tonight, you rest, whatever. So yeah,
that's wild. If true, that's wild. At that point, Adam, what you gonna do?
I don't know, man. They gotta figure that out.
Find them teams.
Yeah, they gotta
you
figure that out.
You gotta find a way to implement a punishment. There has to be some type of punishment, man. I mean, you can't.
I'm with you. But let's go ahead and get back to the interview.
It's somehow through some analytics or a computer program that on November 12th, you can make a decision that a player should sit out on December 20th, which is what was going on in the league. And in fact, my understanding, at least of the data that's come in so far, it may even be the case that some of the early season injuries are caused by players not having enough load. Because even
Thank you.
Again, it's kind of fascinating. Like when I got to the league a little over 30 years ago, a lot of players would take the month of August and like literally go fishing.
Yeah.
They would chill out and they would like eat a little bit more, gain a little bit of weight. They'd come into training camp, and that's when you got back into shape, and you'd lose those pounds and you'd play your way and train and practice back into game shape. Now there's hardly a player in the league that isn't working out every single day. Guys even go to the finals. They take a day off, they're back on the floor. But often it's specialized one-on-one training, it's weight room work, whatever it is. It's not 5-on-5 basketball. And a lot of it, in fairness, these players, and that's what frustrates me too, because they don't take a day off. They're some of the hardest working athletes out there. But then they have it in their head that they're more likely to get injured if they're playing 5-on-5 basketball.
Yeah.
Right. So then they come back into training camp, and it's still not necessarily 5-on-5. There's the preseason. Again, minutes are limited. Then boom, the regular season comes, and at least I can't say it's perfect. I know it's causation yet, but there's certainly correlation early in the season that you see those guys. And it's interesting. It used to be we would hear from teams that you're going to injure our players if they play for USA basketball, the U.S. national team, the Olympic team, or the national teams, from the countries they're from. In fact, it's the opposite. We have fewer injuries, and maybe not surprisingly, from the guys who participate in competition over the summer because the load is maintained. They're not overdoing it. But they come back, and there's that the consistency of the load, throughout the off season. So I think this is an area too where better data, AI is changing everything. Yeah. Where we're going to be in a position, I think, where we can convince the teams and convince the players that actually playing is in their interest. But unfortunately, we're never going to be able to completely solve that issue for that family that comes to that game and is disappointed. I will say just lastly, and maybe it speaks a little bit to the data, that we're coming off last year. In the entire history of the NBA, it was our highest attendance. And I'm sure,
I read that.
Market, no doubt, the highest ticket prices too. So I will say, yes, there are fans disappointed, but people love the NBA experience. They love going to the games. I understand when there's a particular star you're interested, but also we've never been deeper in terms of the talent too. 450 players in the league.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple quick ones because I know you're a busy guy, much busier than me, and these can require shorter answers. So one of the things, the iPhone has changed everything. Our society is more caffeinated, more distracted, and more frenetic. Hockey regular season, baseball regular season, NBA regular season. It's just harder to get ratings. Events, UFC on Saturday, college football, NFL, Olympics, World Cup. Events get excellent ratings. It's not necessarily the fault of a league if there's a decline in Monday through Friday. And as I look and read stories about the decline of ratings, my take is it's an iPhone issue. It's not baseball until Ohtani and the Dodgers put up basically the best, most talented team ever. The Dodgers had great ratings. Is it just possible that, hey, we have contracts that limit the number of games we can be reduced to? We don't want to make one and done like college basketball. Is that your regular season ratings? They don't matter that much because I just saw your new TV deals, and that the media makes a bigger deal of the truth is we're good when it matters in May and June. And that's just a new world.
Yeah, you asked me to answer shorter, so.
All right, so real quick, you're going to hear Adam Silver here, and this is the last part of the interview we'll play. You're going to hear him here, and watch how he tries to manipulate the ratings question.
I'll try to be. There's so much that can be said on this. So first of all, this season, just to set the record straight, we're up about 4% on ESPN and ABC. That's our rating story so far. We're coming off last season where it was our highest regular season ratings in 4 years. But
all right, so we're going to leave it right there. Now, notice he talks about how the league is up 4% in TV ratings this year, and last year was their highest ratings in 4 years. But the fact is, over the last I can't remember the exact amount, but was it like over the last 10 years they're down 48% overall in TV ratings, right? So if you drop nearly half of your TV ratings, and of course there's different factors to that, cord cutting and where it's presented and streaming and how they count the views and all that, but we all know that the TV ratings are way down for the NBA, right? So if you're down nearly half of your freaking viewership, but then you say, well, this year we're up 4%, I guess improvement sometimes needs to be incremental, but that doesn't do anything for me, right? And of course, he wants to throw those numbers out because he knows most of the people listening are, the quote unquote laymen, right? And they're not going to think any deeper into that. They're just going to say, hey, the numbers are up. So that means people been lying when they were talking about how the viewership is down. So you guys' thoughts on that? Did I start with you, G, last time? I think so. So Transformer, I'll start with you and then we'll get back to G.
You're going to have to turn into an asshole, Adam. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Fair enough.
Ratings right now, they're going to continue to plummet because why? We're going to continue having discussions on why the NBA is bad. NBA on TNT is going to talk about how the NBA is bad. Facility, other networks on different shows and different networks are going to talk about how the NBA is bad. So guess what? You're going to have to turn back into a little David Sternish. David Stern was a good asshole.
Yeah, he sure was.
You're going to have to punish or implement consequences for these franchises, for these players. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're sitting out games. We're going to find the player and we're going to punish the franchise. You got to refund all them tickets that them folks them bought because they tried to see Ja Morant play that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you all of a sudden want to say, with no diagnosis, there's no injury, that he's not going to play because he's resting. So I got to explain to all these fans that are just going to go back and be pissed to their families who came to see Ja Morant play that they're going to have to sit there and watch Ja Morant sit on that bench all game. So guess what? You're going to have to refund all them tickets.
Wow.
Punish them. Punish them. Once you lay your foot down, then people, they get in line. We're militant. Me and you served in the Army. I served in the Navy. In boot camp, what are they doing? Getting you in line.
Yes. That's
creating
correct.
Structure. Mm-hmm. If you fall out of line, there's a consequence. There's discipline. Mm-hmm. Halfway. There's a consequence to you not falling in line. Adam, you got to get these players, these franchises, these teams to fall in line. Why? Because your $77 billion that you just got funded by these networks, they're going to start, ratings are down. What are the players doing? The players aren't playing. This backlash is coming for you. Your own networks are already starting to talk about you, talk about your product of the game, right? There's ways you can fix it. You're going to have to chill that player, that player commissioner mentality. You have to channel a little David Stern.
Facts.
Like, all right, I got to be more stern with my approach on what's going on when it comes to load management, how we're playing defense, how you guys are manipulating these teams to say you're hurt and stuff like that. I just saw you play 42 minutes. I didn't see you. I didn't see none of that. When did you get hurt?
Right.
Okay, well, come to my NBA doctor. We're going to verify your diagnosis, MRI, whatever the case may be. You look good to me. Play.
Facts. Real quick, I just wanted to respond to what Laker Nation said, and this was actually interesting. It says NHL also has an 82-game season. They do not have this issue. So what I'll say is I saw somebody else speak. Woodgate says baseball has 162. They don't have a load management issue. So I'm not going to speak to baseball because I don't know anything about it at all. However, when it comes to NHL and NFL, those are leagues built on toughness, right? Those are sports built on toughness. So the mentality is totally different from that of the modern NBA. So I'll say that. G, go ahead, man. Your thoughts.
Transformer made, I mean, he pretty much said everything, right? Talking about the networks, how they Charles Barkley in his rant and how he called out certain teams and coaches on like, hey, this is a crappy product that you're putting out for all the fans, right? But I think one of the things that they're not taking into consideration is like it's NFL time right now, and so your ratings is going to be down, especially on the weekends, right? But during the week, your ratings should be up. There's really no reason for them to have their ratings down. I don't really have much on this topic, bro.
I got you.
This time of year is always something that's try to draw you in. They've been load balancing for so long, man, faking injuries. People call out sick all the time. I mean, it's not fair to the fans, right? You should let us know that person called out sick before we buy these tickets.
Right.
Exactly. If I'm finding out the day or two prior, I've already I got a flight. I traveled, I drove, and I expected this guy to play. Yeah. And now you're telling me they just not going to play. I just saw them play last night or 2 nights ago. They look fine. What happened? Right? No diagnosis. There's a fine. I get refunded and reimbursed my tickets and all of that. Punish both. If your insider's correct. Right. If the franchise is the one that's like, hey, hold these players back. Okay, cool. You're getting punished too. We're gonna do it to the player to now they're upset at you. And now you're getting punished too. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
50% off tickets. 50% off tickets.
Let's go ahead. Let's call, man. Let's take this call. Sneed, what's going on, man?
What up, Bruce? Hey, man. Is it time we could start evaluating Adam Silver in his time as the commissioner?
I think we should have been evaluated him. But the only thing is the owners love Adam Silver because they just got a $77 billion TV deal, right? He works for the owners.
Okay, I was gonna speak to that. So
yes, sir.
Very typically, the commissioner operates on the behalf of the owners.
Yes.
So is the measuring stick for owners just revenues?
I would think so. It seems like a lot of owners don't necessarily care about the product. They care about getting paid.
So the quality of the game aspect, night in and night out, very typically the NHL games and the NFL games, as viewed by their fans, are more enjoyable than a regular NBA game, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Now here's what happens, right? You watch the NBA playoffs, you got half of the teams playing in the NBA playoffs, so half of the teams are gone. Right off the bat, like, you just improved the quality of the game by like 95% by getting rid of the bad teams, because bad teams don't play defense, bad teams take bad shots, bad teams can't score, you just get rid of the lower achieving teams. So now you're left with a higher quality team to play in front of you. Now put something on the line, they play even harder, right? And it's competition, so they're going to play up to the folks on the other side of the field. So you literally, what happens from the last game of the NBA regular season to the first week of the playoffs, you exponentially improve the quality of the games. So if you watch the NBA playoffs and you never watch a regular season game, it's like, holy shit, this is totally different than the regular season, because they got rid of all the crappy teams and now there's something to play for. So the narrative that the NBA game isn't good is only true of, like, obviously, like, the regular season games.
Yeah.
And the way that, like, you talked about the load management and all these other things, distractions or whatever else. But dude, I'm telling you, the NBA playoffs are fantastic.
I don't know if they're fantastic, but they are. There is a marked improvement between the playoffs and the regular season.
But watch how close the defense gets to their assignment.
Yeah. It's totally different.
They go from being like 4 feet away from their guy to like 2 feet away from their opponent. Everything starts to tighten up and stuff. So these players know how to play. There's an active decision being made on these players Like in how they play, they're just loosey goosey about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk about the player mentality and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of it,
right?
But I'll just leave with this, man.
Okay.
I'm watching these games and people talk about analytics.
Mm-hmm.
The game is still played the same way, and that the winners they play better. So like the number of threes you take doesn't dictate the outcome of the game.
They think it does.
It's way overblown. They think it does, and that's all that matters because they think it does, and they're going to start jacking up threes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like dictated on playing defense and preventing your opponent from scoring, and then you getting the ball back and going and scoring. And like if a team is taking threes in the flow of their offense, and like NBA players are good shooters, so they'll make like 35-40%.
Yeah.
But taking more doesn't mean you win, because if you're just drawing them up or just jacking them up, and you're actually bailing out the defense, making their life easier. So they're not even tired. So they're getting the ball in a long rebound and running it down the floor and scoring on you. The Celtics average like 50-some threes a game.
Ugh, don't remind me.
And they lose some games to some teams I don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing to fix. This has to be addressed, bro. As fans we're watching, there's nothing to be fixed. Those teams just need to continue to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then realize what they're doing doesn't work. And then an owner and a GM saying, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're firing you, and we're going to hire coaches, and we're going to bring in players who have a winning mentality, and we're going to bring in better players. Like if you look at the Wizards, the Wizards take a lot of threes.
They do.
It doesn't indicate anything. Let them lose. and you know what? Let the Celtics lose. It's great to see them take 57 threes and lose. I love it. I'm very happy.
I do too.
Yes, I know you do, Transform. It's fantastic. I love it.
Right.
And I like watching the teams. I love watching the teams that have balance.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. No,
and I love to see them win. I don't have to fight to see them win. They just win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'm good with it. Let the teams snitch on themselves. Let the people eventually open their eyes and realize, threes actually doesn't mean you're going to win.
Right.
If they're open threes and you're taking high quality looks, and you have guys like Steph Curry on your team, then yeah, take the threes when they're there.
Sneed,
I'm just saying the hierarchy of letting the pecking order play out. Let the losers lose and let the winners win.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call, Sneed, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, bro.
All right, brother. No, I agree for the most part with what Sneed said. The only thing I'll push back on is the fact that at the end of the day, we've been seeing teams lose this way for years, and it doesn't matter because the math nerds who, and again, I'm not the guy who says, you didn't play, so you don't know anything about the sport. That's absurd. But the math nerds they're saying, well, the math says da-da-da, like we talked about Daryl Morey. We lost, but we actually won because look at the stat sheet.
That was insane.
Insane. But
we actually won. What? No, you didn't. You lost.
Yes, right. You lost.
Okay. Good news. The Celtics are now down to 49.1 threes per game.
Oh, thanks. Okay, great.
It's below 50. All right. Go ahead.
No, but I'm still disgusted by them. Anyway.
They still outpace everybody by 6, but
yeah, it's ridiculous. But let's go ahead and move right to the next topic, y'all. This was the one that really threw me off. This is not going to be a particularly long topic. I just thought it was totally absurd. Long-time Miami sports writer and sports commentator / pundit Dan LeBatard. He really look because
I thought it, but I didn't say it when he typed it. I was like, "That's what I was gonna say."
I've been saying it for how long? I've been saying it for how long? How much it disgusts me. So I'm not the guy that's not going to criticize my team if they're not doing it right. To make me sick with that crap. But anyway, no, he's right. Laker Nation is right. You're right. Sneed's right. Everybody. Yes. It's sickening. Anyway, I'm about to. Okay. So where were we? So Dan LeBatard made one of the most absurd statements I have ever heard in the history of basketball opinionism. All right. And I'm going to just play it. It's very quick. Then we'll come back and talk about it. We'll get into a little bit of stats and then I don't even know. But let's hear it.
Jokic. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think Jokic is still leading the league in 3-point percentage.
Come on.
Like, I think he's the most I think he's making near half of his 3-point shots because offensive basketball has never been played better by anyone playing offensive basketball than that person. And just because you think he looks like a loaf of bread doesn't mean that his advanced defensive metrics aren't also good. You can make the argument that that's the best basketball has ever been played by anybody ever, Michael Jordan included.
So who wants to start here? Are you Arthur fading into the bush right now?
I am Homer Simpson fading into the bush.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Homer Simpson.
Yeah, Arthur had the hand. Right. Yeah.
I kick it off. It's fine.
Laker Nation said, "Whoa, play that back."
Yeah, it's 30 seconds. Let's play it back one more time, and then G kick it off.
Oh boy.
Know this, but I think Jokic is still leading the league in 3-point percentage.
Come on.
Like, I think he's making near half of his 3-point shots because offensive basketball has never been played better by anyone playing offensive basketball than that person. And just because you think he looks like a loaf of bread doesn't mean that his advanced defensive metrics aren't also good. You can make the argument that that's the best basketball has ever been played by anybody ever, Michael Jordan included.
So saying things like you can make the argument just kind of negates everything. I can make the argument that I can freaking fly, right? But that doesn't mean that's necessarily true, right? I can make the argument that I run a 4.3 and a 40. I can make an argument about anything, but that doesn't mean it just means I'm stupid, right? That's all it means. It just means I don't have a sense of reality, right? To the point where when I say things like advanced defensive tactics,
metrics.
We know. Sorry, yes. Oh man. So is he a great basketball player? Absolutely.
Yes.
The way the game is set up right now, and I'm not even talking about just from a competitive stand. I'm talking about from a competitive nature. The competition is just not there. And when I say that, like that willing to want to win each game, they lace their sneakers up. It's just not there, right? And that takes away from the game. And until that, yeah, you can have somebody, as you say, pad stats. He's a really good player, but I wouldn't say
he's a really good player.
Yeah, he's a really good player. But to put MJ in there, I think he did that for sound bites. He drew attention to what he's saying, and he just made himself look like a fool, man. But
what?
The GOAT case? That's all I got, fellas.
Jokic is on. I ignored that one. He's on pace to average a 30-point triple-double.
Okay. We've seen that before, but go ahead.
Seen that before. 30-point triple-double. It's currently the second in the league in 3-point percentage.
Okay.
It's about
48%, 47.7, something like that.
Yeah. Something 47.1.
There you go.
Even with all that being said, the best basketball ever is a very, very hot take. Now, this also goes back to, of course, this is an opinion. How do you define basketball to be played? Are you a low post guy? You like guys that play the perimeter? You like guys that play, mid range? You like mid range shooters? What do you like? It goes back to what do you like? Because I can say watching Shaq was the most beautiful basketball has ever played.
Okay.
His sheer force and way he backed folks down to the down the post and got over him. I could say Hakeem was the greatest basketball I've ever seen from a center who can. There you go. From the footwork to where you couldn't stop any move he made, from the hook to that fake he does with the pivot and the little up and under. Like I could say that's the most best basketball I've ever seen. So I'm gonna let him have his opinion. It's just outlandish when you just say better than everybody, and you put Jordan's name in the conversation
included.
You put Jordan included. You could have said best we've seen today. I would have gave it to you. Like, got it. Good. Got it. Best basketball I'm seeing today.
Can't even be that though.
I'm just that's a better argument for me, because I can't sit here and say the way Jokic is playing right now is better than King, better than Jordan, better than Kobe. I mean, with Kobe, Jordan, same difference. Better than, Patrick Ewing, better than Shaq, better than what these guys did back in their respective eras.
Ridiculous.
You know what I mean? That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one.
It's not tough. It's not tough.
No, I'm just saying that's tough to hear. Like, that's tough for me to like. Yeah, it's tough for me to hear. It's like, what?
I got you.
What's his nationality? What's LeBatard's nationality?
Jokic is Serbian.
No. I know Jokic. What is LeBatard's?
LeBatard. He's a Cuban American. He's a Cuban American. Mm-hmm. His parents are Cuban exiles. He's from the States, though.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to go too hard here because, I constantly get accused of, being stuck in the past, stuck in the 90s and all that. Cool. Now, as a center, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. He's doing things that we've never seen a center do before. Nino, I see you. What's good, bro? I see you. Hang on. We're going to be done with this topic in a minute. And then you could call in. So he's doing things we've never seen a center do before, but that's because he's being allowed to do things that we've never seen a center do before. And because of, the way defenses is played or not played in the modern NBA. Also, quick note, they keep, we heard Scottie Pippen refer to Victor Wembanyama. We heard, what's my man's name? Adam Silver and Colin Cowherd refer to Victor Wembanyama. Cool. Why are they talking about Victor Wembanyama like we haven't seen him before and his name was Ralph Sampson? Why are we doing that? Ralph Sampson was doing everything Victor Wembanyama is doing. He just played in an era where they didn't allow that for a big. So let's keep that in mind. So, yes, Victor Wembanyama is awesome, but we can't act like he's the first guy who's 7'3" or 7'4" to be able to do those things. Next, Jokic, really outstanding player, right? If we look at the numbers, and this was crazy to me, I actually checked it. He has the highest career. He has the 2 highest single season player efficiency ratings ever. So I get it when Dan LeBatard speaks with such reverence about Jokic's player efficiency. So the 2 highest single season, I didn't check all-time PER. But the point is, we know how efficient he is. We know he can shoot the mid. We know he can pass the rock. We know he can play the post. We know he can shoot the 3. All that is amazing for a guy his size. Now, if we want to be honest, like, you're 7 feet tall and you have, you're European, so you have the kind of varied skill set. Those guys grow up learning all aspects of the game. And so in the past, our bigs weren't playing all aspects of the game the same way, right? So, yeah, he can handle, he can run point forward. But to the point I always ask, these NBA coaches don't make any sense to me, because if he's bringing the ball up the court, initiating offense, just get it out of his hands with a guard that'll take it from him. Not that difficult, right? In terms of the 3, you're 7 feet tall, 7'1", and you're shooting, at the top of your freaking height, like we saw with Dirk. That's a 10-foot shot, and you can see over most defenders that are coming out to you. So you just work on that shot. You're going to make a high percentage. Now, are you going to make 47, 48%? No. So he is an outstanding shooter. Totally get it. Great. But why are we acting here as if there aren't 2 sides to this game? You got to play defense, and I don't care what the advanced defensive metrics say. He's not a good defender. He's just not, because we see what happens every time he goes another. Thank you. When he goes against a talented big, he can't deal with AD. He can't defend him. He can't defend Embiid. I talk about that ad nauseum. So all that is great. Edward says, I think, Bruce, if he wins another title, another finals MVP, he can be top 10 all-time center. No. Let's do this. I'm gonna make this simple. Is he better than Kareem? We know the answer, right? Is he better than Wilt? We know the answer. Is he better than Mr. Russell? We know the answer. Is he better than D-Rob? We know the answer. Is he better than Patrick Ewing? We know the answer. Is he better than Hakeem? And I'm not naming them in order. We know the answer. Like, No, you cannot be that playing only one side of the ball. Being a center.
Because you ain't even mentioned Shaq. So.
That goes totally without saying.
You put them boys in a box. Who comes out?
He's saying yes. Okay, well, cool, Dex. It's all good. But yeah, he's not dealing with any of those dudes. He'd get eaten alive by every one of them. You have to play both sides. You're supposed to be an all-time top 10 center. You don't defend? Nah, that ain't gonna make it, man. He would get chewed up by all of those guys, and all of those guys would lock him up. You know, I always say this is the easiest thing for me. Take a guy who's supposed to be all-time great now, and especially a center, and put him in the real big man center era, and he's not getting anything. Jokic would be a 16-8 guy. He might start, but he'd probably be off the bench. He might be 16-8 back in the day. He's not going to be 30, 13, and 10. There's no way. There's just no way. Exactly.
They'll force him to the 4.
Yeah.
They'll force him to have to play the 4.
Right, if anything. And then he still got to go down there and bang paws with Karl Malone and the Davis boys and Derek Coleman, young Derek Coleman, and all those guys. Like, it's not happening. Not important. First of all, Ralph Sampson could shoot the 3. But again, if you notice, not important, I said that what's happening is what Ralph Sampson wasn't doing, he wasn't allowed to do. He had the skill set to do everything that Victor Wembanyama is doing. So that's that. But I listen, I totally get it. LeBatard here was clearly saying something to incite people and inflame them, and he certainly inflamed me when he said this because I thought it was absurd. You guys got anything else to add, and then we'll go ahead take a call or two on this.
Joker would be Dirk. I like that. Dirk is much better shooter.
I don't think he would be that.
Because Dirk, you put that boy in the post, and it was just curtains. But put him out. He would definitely be put in the 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yup. Sabonis. Yup. Easy. Good stuff, Laker Nation. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead. We'll take a quick couple calls. Let's try to limit it to 5 minutes, and then we'll hit the last topic, which will be brief, and then we'll get up out of here. Y'all can enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the NFL playoffs, and then we'll be back with you Wednesday. But I'll be back with you before that, regardless of the outcome of the national championship game. We lose.
I'll go Irish one time.
I'll be back with you. Definitely. Nino, what's good, brother? How are you?
What's going on?
Maintaining. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, I'm loving the show today, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Go Ravens. Go Ravens.
Whoa.
That's the last you gonna hear that.
Whoa. You hear that, G?
Go Ravens.
Nino, I appreciate it.
Let's prepare the chat for Eddie. He about to say some crap.
The Steelers out. I gotta go with Lamar.
Okay.
You got a tough task today, but I gotta go with Lamar, baby.
All right, man. We appreciate that, Nino. What you got on the topic, brother?
But on topic, I knew Bruce was going. Hey, I can't see because I'm driving right now, DOC. But
okay.
I felt the fumes coming from your head. So what I'm gonna do is give them because they do that. If you say defense now, they say LeBron, which is everybody know I'm a LeBron fan.
Yes.
He just ain't able to play D now.
Mm-hmm.
So with Jokic, they do the same thing. Talking about what they say, advanced something.
Oh, advanced defensive metrics, yeah.
Yeah, but Jokic is a bad boy. So I'm gonna take the defense out. I'm gonna say offensive, and I'm gonna give him some credit. Jokic is playing some of the best offensive basketball I have ever seen. He is tough now. He's tough. He can move, shoot. He shoots threes that I'm like, that don't supposed to go in.
Fair enough.
But you would say that's luck. I like that's luck. Then he come back and do it over.
No, he can shoot it. He can shoot it, Nino. I'm with you. He can shoot it.
So I'm gonna say out because I know how you feel about your defense now, Bruce. I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna say he's playing some of the best offense that I've ever seen. Let's go with LeBron, Kobe, all them guys right now.
Whoa.
Now, that don't mean the player. I think that's what he's trying to say. Right now, offensively, he's the best basketball. You can put it up there with anybody. I don't think he's saying that he's up there with them players like all time. I don't believe he's saying that.
Well,
but I don't believe it.
When you make statements like that, that's what you're saying, right? So you can't. But see, this is what a lot of these guys do. They leave stuff to interpretation for us to get on here and discuss it and get up in arms about it. And he got me. I ain't gonna lie, he got me. But
I said Bruce don't like that.
Yeah, no, I don't like that at all, man. I do not like that at all.
He gets away with it because there aren't any other bigs in the league right now, and we see what happens when he does play.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few big boys in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He gets worked.
That's why I agree with both of y'all about the arrow. But since we gonna do it, I'm just gonna give him his arrow, and I'm gonna give everybody their arrow, and I'm not even gonna hold it against him. You know.
Okay.
So I think he's saying, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I think he's saying offensively, because I don't know nothing about no advanced defense.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, this season, last year, this year, he's playing some of the best skilled offensive basketball that he's seen. And hopefully that's what he's saying, Phil.
So I'm not even mad at that. The only thing I'll say is that's cool, but we also have to take into account the defensive rules. We got to take into account that everything has changed to allow for offensive proliferation. So there's that.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So
y'all,
I appreciate the call, Nino. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Y'all was right on the last topic. Hey, all y'all went hard on that, man. Good topic.
No doubt, man. Yes, appreciate you.
Quick question. I wanted to address not important.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him how old he is.
Amazing defender shouldn't be a part of your argument. That's basketball illiteracy.
Yeah, he's 12.
Do you remember?
Go ahead and call us.
When Dwight Howard had to check Nikola Jokic. Do you remember that series? You saw what happened to Jokic? He got wore out. Wore out. Took him out the game. If Dwight Howard can do that, what you think them bros back in the day gonna do? They're gonna just body him.
It's not even.
Once he gets bodied, he gets tired. He can't do anything. Let's go back and look at it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take this call from Laker Nation. Laker Nation, what's good, brother? How are you?
I'm good.
All right.
I was calling you to tell me to call. I was trying to wait to Transformer finish his point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you got through.
Oh, okay. I was going to let him finish his point because I wasn't going to address it because I didn't feel like it needed the energy.
Facts.
Well, I like to give everybody a piece of they feel that they're a part of the show.
I understand. That's why you guys are the host of the show, and I'm on this side. I would have dismissed it. Like, I'm not even gonna waste my energy on this because it's just an attention grabbing thing. Because we all watched the 2020 playoffs. We saw what a bad back 39-year-old Dwight Howard and old as who else
I think JaVale McGee was on there.
JaVale McGee. I can't think of it. I can't. It slipped my mind. Transform. You know who else? The other center we had over there.
JaVale McGee.
We had
JaVale McGee.
Yeah, McGee. McGee held him in check too. And last year, Cat and
Gobert
held him in check too. So if you mean to tell me that these three who are not even mentioned in the top 75 centers of all time, you're trying to tell me that he's gonna hold his own against those guys that we've mentioned earlier in the chat? Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I said
it's recency bias, and it's okay. It's just crazy to me. But LeBatard did what he set out to do.
It's only
man, LeBatard.
People that look at that say that.
Agreed.
Because if you literally understand the game of basketball, you know damn well Nikola Jokic, even that good dude from Dallas, can't one hold their own against those guys in the top 75. I'm not even talking about errors. I'm just talking about pure basketball, like like you mentioned, Ralph Sampson. He don't want that work from him. He don't want that work from the Dream. You don't want that word from Ewing. You know, he won't even want that word from Charles Oakley, and he wasn't even a center. So that's just my take on that. But he does good things, you know, with the spacing, you know, at the top of the key, moving the ball. He does a great job for the way the league is now.
Correct.
Because so he does good for the league now. That's why he's able to. He's the engine that moves the Nuggets. But we're talking about. He talked about a GOAT case. Like when you put somebody in that status, you have to talk about everything. You can't be on one sided and be in that conversation. You got to be able to hold your own on both sides of the ball. You have to be a winner, which he is establishing himself as a winner now.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to have the numbers to back it up. And there's only a handful of people that do that. MJ, Kareem, Magic. That's about it.
I got you.
But I did have a question for the panel earlier in the show. And you guys, if you want, you can make this as a topic for another day.
I'm sorry, I just saw the most ridiculous comment. Oh my goodness, that's why I'm laughing. Pardon me. Go ahead.
I might delete that now. I'll give him his freedom of speech.
Oh man.
I'm gonna give him his freedom of speech. But I did have a question earlier because me and a buddy of mine at the office, we had this conversation today. It was not an awful point. It's a legit point because that's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to say this. Before you guys come on this show, open your mouth and say, upgrade your basketball IQ and knowledge so we can have a legitimate discussion. I don't know about Bruce and Transformers. You know, I don't like having discussions where you're not making any basketball sense. I don't have these discussions on the most.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But in fairness, we try to give people an opportunity to voice their thoughts and whatnot. And if it's ridiculous, we'll take care of that too. But we try to give people this is a safe space, man.
Of course, that's why it's your show.
Yeah. But I appreciate it, Laker Nation, man. You got anything else for we can move on?
But I can't Bruce.
I try to brush you off, man. But go ahead, brother.
Man, he's about to kick the Transformer. He's trying to kick me off the phone right now. But this question is for the whole panel.
Okay.
Transformer and Bruce, and you, Bruce. I don't matter what order y'all can answer.
Okay.
All right. So, as we know, we're in the social media era right now, and we did the Scottie Pippen soundbite earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a discussion with somebody at work today. I think Steve Kerr said before that he feels like Jordan would be better in this area because of social media. I think it was Steve Kerr to say that. Don't quote me on it. I think it was. But my question is, his teammate, Scottie Pippen,
mm-hmm.
with what you know about Scottie Pippen now,
mm-hmm.
how do you think he would fare in today's social media era?
Jordan?
No, Pippen.
No, Pippen.
Oh, Pippen.
Yeah, that's a great question, man.
We all know Jordan would. We all know how my opinion is. I think Jordan will feast in this social media era. But how do you guys feel like Scottie Pippen would fare in this social media era?
That's a great question, man. That's a great question. I'm gonna let you go. Just hang on and listen to the response, all right? But thanks for calling, bro.
How would he fare?
So it seems to me that we're seeing some mental fragility on the part of Scottie Pippen. So that may really Steve, you might be right. I agree. Steve says he thinks Pippen would fold, and I think, again, based on what we've seen from Pippen, he may not. Because think about it, right? If he's playing now, and he gets divorced from his wife, and all this stuff is going on. Can you imagine how bad it would be if he was more in the public eye than he is now? I think he would break, man.
An active player?
Yeah. I think
Scottie Pippen Jr. caught slack, and he was a bench guy. He was on the bench when I forget the name of the player who was dating his mom while he was on the team.
I know. And
that was just that was baby Pippen. That was Pippen Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine real Pippen.
Hey, Scottie's an 8-time all NBA defensive player, right?
First team. Yeah.
First team.
Mm-hmm.
I think he and they don't play defense in this era right here. Is that a true statement? Or they play defense, but not the way they was playing it back in the night.
Chase the 3-point line defense is different. Yeah,
I think he would murder. I think he'll murder this league. I really think with just his athleticism, knowledge
Malik
of the game,
Beasley. That's what it was.
Okay.
He would definitely go off, and I think that stuff will fuel him. Like, it's hard to say. That's a really difficult question to ask, but if you really look at it, like, some people have adversity makes them better, right? And so what social media does is this amplifies all your faults. And if that's something that drives you and make you a better person, I think without question, Pippen would probably he'd be a monster, bro. Like, he'd be a monster. Top 5 in this league right now.
All right. Well, there you have it. I think he would break. G says it would fuel him and transform him. What was your thought on it?
What was my thought on it?
Yeah, I thought you gave your response on it. Did you? Did I miss
I did. I think I didn't give a response to what I think, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, if his son caught slack now, and he's on a bench, I can only imagine he's going to catch a lot more as a star player. Like, I think, it would have crushed him. It would definitely gotten his mental.
I think so too.
Yeah, it definitely would have gotten his mental. Yeah.
I think that's kind of where Laker Nation is coming from.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, y'all. Last topic here. This is going to be a super short one. So let's do it. I just wanted to briefly kind of touch on this. I thought it was interesting, and I got the wrong picture there because I thought it was Rich Paul. So pardon me, y'all. So here's the deal: LeBron's longtime business partner, Maverick Carter, not Rich Paul. Pardon me. I messed that up, and that was unprofessional of me to go back and not to go back and check. But Maverick Carter, LeBron's longtime business partner, and this is from USA Today, has been tabbed as a consultant to a group of investors seeking to raise as much as $5 billion for an international basketball league. A person familiar with the development told USA Today Sports. The person requested anonymity because he was not authorized to speak publicly about Carter's involvement. So the league would, according to Bloomberg, consist of 6 men's teams and 6 women's teams and would play games at limited cities around the world. What do y'all think about that? I don't think it's a big story.
Basically a new league?
Yeah. The reason I thought it was interesting, obviously, is because, of LeBron and his, I don't have him on Mount Rushmore, but his Mount Rushmore level involvement and career with the NBA. And he's always made it clear that he wants to own an NBA franchise. So I just thought it was interesting that somebody closely linked to him on a business front would be interested in, would be pushing towards starting a new league. So I just wanted to get some thoughts on that for you guys, from you guys.
That's I don't know how to feel about that one. I mean, because where would his pool of talent come from? Guys that just couldn't make it in NBA?
Maybe, but if it's an international league, then you can pull globally, right?
I think he was trying to poach like the 6 men on each team. 6, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Who knows, man?
But if it's an international league, then you got the entire world to.
True, as your pool of talent. But then you got to pay them guys, because if not, they're just gonna go to the league,
right? So I don't really know.
So I guess this will be like a different G League or something like that. Like
Unravel. It's called Unravel, right? The female basketball. I think it's like 3-on-3.
Oh, the 3-on-3. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the girl with the turban. Boy, she be cooking folks, boy.
Oh yeah. But I don't know if she's in that. Oh yeah, she's a problem. Yeah. She's
Get her name.
Yeah, that's my Muslim sister from Boston. Yeah, she's a problem. No, I can't remember her name. She's nasty. But anyway, but yeah, this I just thought it was interesting, just the connection to LeBron and the fact that he's going to be without question the next NBA franchise owner, or probably when they start a franchise in Vegas. But I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm my curiosity would just be where the pool of talent comes from. Of course, you're going to need the endorsements. You're going to need money behind it to pay these players. So,
it probably poached from the big three. You could probably poach from the
but
big
the big three is like older guys. I assume he will want younger talent.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. If he wants to start a league, like an actual 12-on-12, or 5-on-5, like he's gonna he's not gonna want them older guys. The big three, they're good because it's all half court.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it just occurred to me.
Run no full court.
You know, it just occurred to me. Mav Carter is LeBron James' business partner, right, for years. So if he gets the group together, gets this up and running, the fact that he's going to be, scouring the world looking for talent, right? That also helps LeBron when he has a franchise, in terms of it's like an extended scouting arm.
Dang, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good move. I can't even front on that. I think that's a good move. Correct.
I'm gonna get this team, but I already got the pieces in place to get the best.
There we go.
talent.
There we go.
Chess, not checkers.
That's not checkers. Let's end it on that. I'm gonna take a few phone calls. I know G and Transformer got a roll, but I'm gonna hang here with y'all and I'm gonna take a few phone calls. And man, look, thanks so much for everybody who's hung in there with us. This was a little long one today, but it's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna hang here. I'm gonna take some phone calls with y'all. And Transformer, G, appreciate y'all, of course, as always. Let's get it. Bruce, what up?
Man, what's going on with you, Brucey?
What you got, B? What you got, man?
Fuck it is, dummy. Come on, man. We're trying to rush. What's going on? Why everybody in the big goddamn hurry, man?
I'm out, stupid. I'm not finna tolerate that, dummy. I'm out, stupid.
Life is too short, man. Everybody in a hurry. Bruce, hey, I'm pumped for the Ravens today. Bruce rushing motherfuckers off the phone and shit.
What you got, Bruce?
Transform and Bulls ready to dip out.
I got an appointment at 1, bro.
Oh my God.
12:52, you're already late. God damn it.
No, a virtual appointment.
Hey, listen, big motherfucking truck. I'm just calling to fuck with y'all. I ain't gonna be long.
You good,
man. I'm pumped. I don't even drink. I'm drinking today.
Sounds like it.
By 10 o'clock tonight, we will know if the Ravens move on to play KC. I'm all off subject and shit. I'm just pumped about the game today. Both games. Boss Mav Carter and the new B-ball shit. Goddamn, LeBron got his hand in that. Come on, stop acting like he don't got his hand in that. Come on, man.
Listen, I don't have any knowledge, information regarding that, and I do want to be fair. It would be my assumption that he has his hand in that, but I want to be fair. And again, like we were saying, it would be smart if they get this thing together. That's just an extended scouting arm for whatever LeBron's franchise will be by the time he's done playing and owns a team of his own. So brilliant move if that's the case. Yes, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Yo, don't play no defense. I don't care if he's defensive liability. But I don't take Jokic over Patrick Ewing any goddamn day. I always thought Patrick, he was a good center. He is not better than no Jokic.
That's a damn lie. That's not a lie, but a damn lie. But go ahead.
Patrick Ewing, where's ring at? Where's ring? Where's Patrick Ewing ring? Where's ring at, Bruce?
So that means, okay. All right, go ahead, man. Patrick Ewing doesn't have a ring. You're right. You got it. So that makes him better. Okay, go ahead.
So Jamal Murray is Allen Iverson?
Yes, that's correct.
I truly believe the media is hurting the NBA because all they do is complain about the NBA sucks, and in reality, it truly don't. Because motherfuckers do not watch basketball. I've been watching basketball. Some good ball being played. Okay, the Celtics shoot 49 threes a goddamn game, yeah. Terrible. But that's not all teams. Cleveland playing well. OKC playing well. Memphis playing well.
Bruce, nobody. Bruce, let me interrupt you real quick. Nobody is saying that there's not teams playing well. Houston is playing well. That's just testament to Ime Udoka as a coach. But anyway, nobody's saying that there's not teams playing well. We're saying on the whole, the style of play in the modern NBA, et cetera, we're not going to go back down that, is not what it once was. And it's reflected in the way the game is covered. It's reflected in what the fans are telling you, et cetera, et cetera. That's all we're saying.
It's not what it once was as far as the regular season. So don't act like the playoffs don't be thick now. Stop it. Am I right?
Keep going, man. Keep going.
You get exasperated with me because I'm on the phone.
No. I don't know. I'm not trying to argue with you, man. But go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm not arguing. I'm just having buddy talk, man. It was a good Sunday morning, man.
I got you, man. I'm trying to.
Old grumpy old man, man.
I'm not grumpy, man. I'm trying to hear what you got to say, B.
Talk to him, Brucey.
Jokic is top 10 all time.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Jokic is top 10 all time.
Okay.
Period. I don't care what you say. You all stuck in the goddamn 1950s with Wilt Chamberlain and shit.
Okay.
Stop that, Bruce.
Okay.
You know that goddamn boy Wilt Chamberlain wouldn't dominate in today's game or in the 90s. He wouldn't.
Okay.
All right, man. I'm getting off the phone, man. You just
I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, man. Because Bruce, you know what? You disappoint me, man. You know we go back and forth every day in the inbox, but you want to rush motherfuckers off the phone on a good Sunday morning. Let's go, Rams. Big trust.
Hey.
Let's do this shit, dummy.
Hey,
Rams
B.
get stupid. Hey, Transformer. Who
Yo,
you
yo.
going with today, Transformer?
Say what now?
Who you going with today, Transformer?
Rams and Bills, man.
Okay. Hey, you work out today, big dog?
You say what?
So you work out today, big dog? You work out today?
Yes, I did.
Transform out that motherfucker looking like goddamn Mr. Olympia.
I know, right?
All right, Bruce, I'm ready to get off your phone, Bruce. I'm ready. I'm done fucking with y'all. Good luck, Ravens.
Yes, indeed.
Good luck, Rams.
Yes, indeed.
I will be hitting you later, Bruce Sherman. I'm gonna be fucking with you about something.
No doubt, big man.
If we lose today, right? You got to do a special show tomorrow, man, because we ain't listen.
I could do that.
We ain't play 8 more months from now. If we lose, no, we win. It'll be Wednesday. But if we lose, man, we gotta bury you, man. We gotta have a funeral up tomorrow, man. Because we ain't gonna play a few more ball for 9 more months, man.
Bet. That's a bet.
It's do or die.
No doubt.
What's
no
up,
doubt.
fool? What's up, stupid? Hey, stupid. I thought you was going up Buffalo, yo. What happened?
Man, so
I ain't stupid. I ain't stupid.
He said he ain't stupid.
You ain't no damn penguin. Goddamn you. Fucking snoring up there. Hey, I'm sorry. Yo, hey, your brothers have a nice day. I'm hyper. Thanks for letting me call in, Brucey. Have a nice day, Mr. Transformer.
All right,
hey, be safe out there, Bruce.
See.
All right, gentlemen.
Y'all have a great day, brother.
All right,
you too.
Crazy, man. All right, team, we're going to leave it right there.
Right on time.
Appreciate everybody for hanging in there with us for 3 hours. The first 2 topics ran a little long, but we really appreciate that, man. Great show overall. Great interaction on the way out. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Please hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. Again, we really appreciate it. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of these NFL playoff games, and we'll be back with you maybe tomorrow. Definitely Tuesday, regardless, and then again Wednesday. So y'all have a great one, man. We out. Peace.